Hello, friend, and welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode 125. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Eric
What's going on, guys?
and my good friend Roots. Roots, man, so much to talk about today. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's so overwhelming, dude. And I'm overwhelmed by VR in general. And I'm talking about the PlayStation VR, dude. I went into Resident Evil 7 this morning, just poking around, checking it out. And it was the best experience of that game I've ever had. It was so clear. It was everything. I was blown away going through the beginning, realizing how high level that game was 5 years ago. And today with the PlayStation 5, it looks better than almost every other game on that old headset. I don't know what kind of magic they do with this game, but now I want to play through this game again. I was Wes, I was walking around looking at shit that I've never noticed before because the detail, the maggots crawling around on plates, just everything. Although I will submit, when you open the thing and the roach gets on your hand, you're not going to have three large roaches come out of a pot like that. You're going to have babies. You're going to have fucking hundreds everywhere. It's going to be crazy. Just being a pest control guy, I know that.
Don't
So.
don't spoil it for me. I'm starting next week.
It's crazy. It was good.
It goes to show you that a little bit goes a long way with PlayStation VR. Some of these games were in such a great state to begin with that making even a marginal improvement makes a big difference. And Resident Evil 7 is one of those games because it typically, while it is a beautiful game with a highly detailed, um, you know, highly detailed textures, um, it typically has that kind of a dirty look to it. It's very shimmery and, uh, you know, um, it's one of these games that while it hasn't been specifically updated for PlayStation 5, there are things that play in things that are already at play in there, like dynamic foveated rendering and dynamic aliasing that is adjusted based on your system overhead. That just moving to a more powerful machine just it enables that stuff to actually work better than it ever has before, and it makes what were already the best games in VR even better. And yeah, I'm glad that you forget, right? You forget how good these games are because it's been so long, and you tend to only remember the negative things about PlayStation VR, and then getting back into it, you remember so much. You know why you loved it so much in the first place. I'm really happy for you, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Wolf Raza says he's eating, so he doesn't want to hear about
Yeah.
cockroaches and stuff.
I
He
also I
says he's
also
eating. He says he's eating man. So
Oh, oh.
you
Well,
know
hey,
who
I've
else
been.
is eating man?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she is.
hallelujah. I also heard that Roots picked up a couple new things this weekend too
Oh,
for his
yeah.
PlayStation
Oh,
VR.
oh yeah, for the aim control and all that. See, and that's the thing too, Wes, is a couple things. I took your advice. I adjusted my camera. Went back into Ironman, and everything was amazing. Amazing game. I think you're right. It's the best superhero game I've played in VR, hands down. And now I'm psyched to use my aim controller. Although I do feel kind of weird about this. I did order a new camera from Amazon that comes on Tuesday for that swivel mount because I just can't not have it. And I can't. I've
Well,
checked around. I can't find it anywhere. So
you're going to need it when you get into aim controller games, especially Firewall. Firewall likes a very high camera. You want that thing looking down on you like a shower head,
mm,
and yeah, you need that mount or some kind of a mounting system that you're able to move your camera on the fly without it being a big pain in the ass.
yeah. Plus, I'll have this one as a backup. But I've been blown away by every game that I've gone into so far, Wes. And I'm thinking the PlayStation 5 is making such a huge difference on a lot of these games as far as what I'm seeing quality wise, right? And I just can't believe how good that headset is. Like you said, with that's old technology, and it's not even the best screens out there. So that just gives me more hype for the PlayStation VR 5 VR, I should say.
It just shows you the quality of OLED, right? That even though the uh resolution of the screen in that thing is extremely low compared to today's headsets. If you have a proper machine behind it pushing some super sampling on that old yet high quality vinyl, it still has some legs. And this is one of the reasons, Eric, that I feel like PlayStation 5 VR is just around the corner. Because if it weren't, I think Sony would be putting out exclusives on PlayStation 5 for this headset, because like Roots just said, there's still amazing experiences that could be had with this if they wanted to put the resources into it. I think the reason that they're not is because there's a brand new headset coming right around the corner.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the huge sign that I think it's coming around the corner as well. I think we both think sometime this spring, not later, like it's talked about maybe in the holiday, holiday 2022. The other thing too is that kind of pointed me in that direction is they never put the camera on sale. Sony's about making money. And if there's any way that they could have put the camera, I'm not sorry, not the camera, but the camera adapter on sale, where they could have sold it for $20 or something like that, they'd have it for sale. And you could just go to the store and pick it up, and because Roots would have bought one instead of going through eBay or wherever he got it from. Or like same thing with me. I went and bought one too, and then I ordered mine because I didn't want to wait for it. So instead of Sony putting that money in their pocket, they were like, "Look, we know our stuff's coming. We're not going to put the camera out there for sale. We'll just give it to people who want it, and then we'll just launch the new headset." So otherwise, if it was going to be a whole nother year, guaranteed they would be selling that camera. I just have a feeling that springtime is going to be our time.
Not only that, but all the games are on sale, are continually on sale. All the big games as well. Like all the major games have dropped in price now, or a good portion of them. And I like even Astrobot's like $20 now across the board. So I just think they're kind of signaling that, hey, this is the end of the cycle and we're moving on to the next cycle and getting new hardware, new games. And I can't wait. That's exciting.
Absolutely. Paradise Decay in the chat says, Wes, have you tried Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation 5? Is it better? And Simplex is asking, did Farpoint get a PS5 patch? So the answer to these questions is neither of those games have been patched for PlayStation 5. They both have been patched for PS4 Pro, have not been patched for PS5. So while you do see an impact from playing it on PS5, it's not as profound an impact as you'll see in something like Blood and Truth or Dreams, or even like Firewall. I think was patched up for PS5. But you do tell a difference on a lot of these games, minor differences, but the picture's a lot cleaner. Again, you tend to not see foveated rendering where you used to see it, and a lot of the shimmer goes away. So yes, I have tried PS5 on Resident Evil 7. I think I saw GT in the chat here a moment ago. He played something recently, not semi recently, and I want to say it was Resident Evil 7, and he was commenting during that stream that he knows that it's not supposed to look better, but it does. And I completely agree with him and Roots here. It's like, I don't know how much you've played on a PS4 Pro, but you'll notice that some days are better than others with it. You'll play the same game 2 days in a row, and it'll be better on one day than it is on another. It's like when you have PS5, that you always are having your PS4 Pro's best day. No matter when you're playing, it's always the best that it can be, and that's kind of part of the few things that VR players will find valuable about being an early adopter with PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I missed all that, Jack.
Yeah, you jumped
I've
right
only
in at the
played-
perfect
yeah.
time, bro.
Yeah, I've only played it on anything but the PS5, so I kind of missed all that.
Now I will.
And
Do you have a PS4, Eric, or did you before?
I actually do have one. It's in the box. I just
Okay.
hadn't used it for forever. I had boxed it back when I started PC gaming. I boxed it up and never touched it until
I only
PS5.
ask you that because if you're not using it, send me one of your controllers. I can't I can't play Hitman 3 in VR. I'm assuming that's why it won't. I'm trying to go in and play it, and it won't put me through it. Like puts it on the screen, right? Can't find an option to switch it.
Hmm.
But I don't have a DualShock, And so I tried to
got
go
it.
into static, and I confirmed that fucking thing is not tracked. And
Yeah,
so my hands are just sitting there in that box. It's static, or not, is that's what it's called, static, right? At the beginning.
All right.
And so I'm assuming
you gotta have the light bar and the dual shock controller.
right. So I need a
DualSense
DualShock
doesn't have it.
4, but I can't find any that aren't full price, $65 or something.
I will.
Well,
I
no,
have an
no,
extra, and I'll send you one.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you can get those for 35 and 40 bucks. Don't pay 60 for them. You do have to have a DualShock to play PS4 VR games that require a DualShock. Because that in most cases these games track the gamepad. With Hitman specifically, what you're going to want to do is install the PS4 version of Hitman 3. The
Oh,
PS5 version doesn't support VR, so you have to
well,
actually install the older version.
motherfucker. Okay, well there you go. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Well,
Anyway, you know, I could sit here talking about PlayStation VR all day long, but we have so much to get into. We would be doing these people a disservice if we didn't get right down to it. But let's before we do that, let's start off the way we always start, by saying hello to our friends in chat. Alex VR is joining us in chat, and he says that he cannot bring himself to call us strangers anymore. We're friends now. We're all friends, Roots.
virtual neighbors. Yeah, we are friends. And that's exactly what we wanted out of the community, right? It's like we're strangers that are best friends. I don't even know what that means, but it's amazing.
Virtual besties.
Yes, virtual besties, and I like it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Decepticon in the house, as is PD Paradise Decay. Toxic FPV said, I started on PSVR when that came out. Yeah, me too, bro. Like I was originally a PSVR gamer. You know, I have high-end PC VR now. I have multiple Oculus Quest, and the reason why is PlayStation VR. So all of you PC gamers out there that are crapping on the Oculus Quest right now, let me assure you, it's going to lead to more PC VR gamers in the coming years.
Absolutely. PD says he asked if I tried Wipeout, and that was one thing I was going to tell you as quickly as real quick too, Wes. The detail of the people, like the crowd and everything, I couldn't believe how good it looked. Like I was like, my God, this and that blew me away as well. And I don't think, did that have a patch, or is that just another game that benefits from the PS5?
Well, Wipeout was amazing on PS4 Pro to begin with, but no, it did not have a patch. It's just another one that's getting residual benefit from having a beefy machine pushing it.
Yeah.
Meow Meow the Gamer Cat said, "Hey, I know it's spooky month, but I'm glad you guys didn't show up in matching Facebook hoodies to freak me out." Well, actually, we wanted to go ahead and announce that our friend Eric here has been named a side quest ambassador. No, he's not. He's not a side quest ambassador.
He does have
a jersey.
He does have a jersey though. Man, that's cool, bro. I wish I could be a non-side quest ambassador with a jersey.
Yeah, they're awesome.
But by the way, shout out to Paradise Decay in chat, and a big congratulations to him for leveling up in a very tangible way. Congrats, PD. Much deserved.
Hell yeah.
Level up for you and your channel, and I couldn't be happier for you.
I think there's no other person I would say that deserves it more than who we said last time, which is Gamertag. The two hardest workers in VR. So definitely kudos.
And
yeah,
PD says, PD says, Wipeout feels so alive. I noticed a big boost in performance with PlayStation 5. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That game was not patched for PS5, but it doesn't have to be. Most of the best games in PlayStation VR have some variable factors in it that are based upon your system overhead, and PS5 pushes those games to the max.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. VR Spry Guy in the chat says, level up, Masher. Tasselhoff, Mr. Tasselhoff's in the chat, says Eric has his hands all over the place. You know who else has their hands all over the place?
My mom.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
I love her.
Dark Angel is in the chat, as is I lost my spot here. That's what happens when I get sidetracked. Mepper in the house. Simplex, we already said hello to Simplex. What's up, friend? Eye on the Icon says my grandmother likes real VR fishing and she is 77. So there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
That's awesome. Love hearing that stuff, man.
Yeah, and how that game I don't know, did it get its update yet? If not,
Not
it's
yet. It's
coming really
coming.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
coming.
can't wait for that.
You know who else is
Midlife
coming
Kid
real
with
soon?
the
My mom.
Sorry.
Midlife Kid with the $5 donation says, "Gracias, amigos. Donada, mi
Yeah.
amigo. Muchas gracias.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it, friend." Keith Valdez says, "I played a little bit of." What is he talking about here? To scroll up to see what he's talking about, and of course, I'm on
Top chat?
Top Chat, so it's not going
Oh,
to show me everything.
Top Chat sucks.
Well, he's talking about something here. He says he played a little bit of it in VR and it's intense. So whatever it was, the previous comment that I see him says I should eat a gummy. I agree. You should.
Why is top chat? I'm gonna say this again. Why is that the default, man? Like stupid.
I don't know, man. But I'm gonna scroll. I went to live chat and I'm gonna scroll up here and find out what the hell he's talking about.
All
Just because I need to know now.
right.
I can't find it either. I don't see what it is.
Little baby Tinkle Boy says howdy. How's it going, little baby Tinkle Boy? I just love you saying your name. And who doesn't,
Hey,
right?
what's up, little baby Tinkle Boy? Dark Angel says F Top Chat. Yeah, we can't see what Mr. Valdez was talking about now. Thanks to Top Chat, ruining everything. But we'll have to speculate. You know,
Show's ruined. Call it off.
Yeah, it's over. See
Yeah.
you guys tomorrow. Roy Schwartz joining chat. Roy Schwartz, what's up, friend? Roy, did you get a PS5? Like, I feel like you would benefit from it as much as anyone playing Firewall because that game was patched for PS5 and it is noticeable. You know, some people say it's not because obviously that was a very beautiful game to begin with, but I can notice a difference in Firewall, a tangible difference with the unlocked resolution now. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I need Roy to come hold my hand and bring me through Firewall. I have it, and I just haven't played it yet because I'm a little intimidated.
Well, let me just tell you what you need to be doing. Okay, there are single player training modes in that game that are fun to play. So you should play through the tutorial, and you should level. You should play single player and level yourself up to a level like 6 or 7 before you even get in there with people.
True.
It's difficult. Like the single player, they updated the AI in the game, and for a new player, and even someone who's not completely new, it is challenging. You don't always win playing against the computer. So I would suggest you take a couple of days and just play exclusively single player so that you can become familiar with the controls and the UI. There's actually a lot to that game, and that'll allow you to get comfortable in it before you have to get in there with people.
Well, I will this week for sure because we got to be getting in there with Ruuts now with his aim controller. So I'll make sure that by the end of this week I'll be ready to roll.
Yeah. Well, I'll have my my thing on Tuesday, my new camera, so I should be good to go.
Roy says that there's still nothing in stock. If you are looking, Roy, if you're actively looking, make sure that you're watching our Discord. We have people scoring every week on there now that are looking. Most everyone who was looking has one now, and really the only people left that are still looking are just looking to buy them and resell them. So, like, make sure that that you're checking in on our Discord. Hit up Derail and tell him to tag you when they come in stock. And literally 2 or 3 times a week they're coming in stock. And you know, we don't always hit, but we normally do. You know, at least once a week someone will hit one. Scott Merrill, I just helped him get one last week or the week before. So they are obtainable now, unlike 6 months ago. You can actually get your hands on one now if you try.
Yep. And that being said, our quick push through it intro was 24 minutes in. I guess we should be getting into some headlines,
call.
huh?
Good call. Good call. Wolveraza says, I'm looking for a free PSVR, and I can't help you with that. But if you're looking for a free Oculus Quest 2, you'll find a link below to the Facebook group, the Oculus Quest 2 community. How long does that giveaway have left on it, Eric?
It's today. Today ends today, guys.
Oh God! So when do we find out?
I don't know if I got my name in the hat or not, because I did. I went in and I registered my email in the app on mobile, but it will not send me the verification email to my email address. I keep telling it to resend it, and it's not coming. So
you should, as long as you had put your email in, even if it got jammed up in some way, it should still be in there. And then you just got to go back and make sure you put what is it, like
create your
entered
character
done,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. My name should be in the hat then, and fingers crossed.
That'd be
guys.
cool, dude.
And
how cool would it be to get one more for your family, dude? To be able to have to complete it, so let everybody be in a headset. That'd be cool.
Well, we're working toward that anyway. We'll get there one way or the other, right?
Yeah, true.
Anyway, you called it, man. We need to move along and get into these headlines. There is a lot to talk about. And if I had to guess, at what point do I finally get that final headset to get everyone into VR in my house? It would probably be when the Quest Pro drops. And the first headline this week, Quest Pro specs and controller images leaked. Now, we talked a little bit about this in a recent episode. Rumors coming almost daily with regards to the different hardware that's in development, not only from Facebook, but from other companies as well. Apparently, a lot that has dropped with regards to Quest Pro has just been more corroboration of what we already heard about it. That there are two headsets that are in the pipeline, but the first one using a dual layer LCD panel so that it can still remain affordable but have higher quality visuals. Of course, eye and face tracking, as well as a new tracking system altogether for the controllers, basically turning the headset into a lighthouse. So I guess, Eric, let's say this thing comes out for $500. Are you throwing down $500 on day one to pick one of these up? If it only has what we've heard so far that it has.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not even a thought in my head. I'm going to do it. I mean, now I have no problem with somebody going out and selling their Quest 2 now. Get prepared for it if you want to do that. Say if you're sitting on your Quest 1 or something like that, and you can still have something to play, go out and sell your Quest 2 now and prepare. Because I don't know what you could get for your Quest 1, but I'm sure you could still get a decent price for your Quest 2. And get ready and go get it, because I mean, just the controllers alone, if you can get that tracking, where it's going to be the better tracking with the camera and the controller, just for that alone, and then
we've seen it time and again with these headsets. The things are the Quest 2 is worth more now than it's going to be after this thing drops, unless it has some ungodly high price. Now, if this is a $700, $800 headset, then your Quest 2 is not going to drop a cent. But if it is $500 or even maybe $600, your Quest 2 is going to be worth a little bit less after it launches. So if you're one of these people who are in this boat, you need to be watching the news daily to try to get some kind of idea when this next headset's going to drop, so you can unload yours at the right time. And Roots, I say watch the news daily, because what we're seeing right now, we've seen before, right? Whenever Facebook is about to launch new hardware, we start to see these leaks. And it's almost as if they're intentionally leaking this stuff as a marketing ploy. But it works. It hypes people up. and if you're trying to predict what the market's going to do, you can do it just by watching and keeping an eye on the way the rumors go.
Yeah, it's definitely close. Definitely worth picking up, like Eric said, for the controllers. And I would submit too. It may not seem like that big a deal to have the eye tracking now, but as developers are able to start working around that, you're going to start having features or better quality of a game, right? You're going to start having that foveated rendering that's on your eyes. It's gonna turn into something that you're gonna want to have. So I would suggest upgrading if you can, for sure. And definitely, like Wes said, watch the market. I mean, I would probably guess more. I mean, we kind of know. We know when it's gonna be announced, right? Or think we know with Facebook Connect, right? So that would be the most likely. That's what they've done in the past. Hey, it's out now. Everybody freaks out, you know. So I would think that that's more like, since we're so close to that, that would be the most likely date I would suggest.
Onikazi in the chat says, so are you talking about Quest 2 Plus with the same resolution as Quest 2, but on controller tracking and the micro LED display and facial and eye tracking? Sure, day one pre-order for 5 Benjamins. I don't first of all, I don't know the nomenclature here. I don't know which one's the plus and which one's the pro. I don't think the first one that comes out is going to be the one that has micro OLED in it. We've pretty much heard that it's going to have a dual layer LCD screen in it, which is it has a monochrome layer behind like a regular LCD panel, and what that allows for is it allows for local pixel dimming, which gives you greater brightness, it gives you better dark levels, and it gives you more vivid colors. It acts closer to an OLED, but from what the speculation is saying, the micro OLED version is probably going to be out next year. We're probably not going to see that one this year at all.
Yeah, so the one that I think that I'm speculating that we'll see this year will be the Plus, and then the one that will come sometime next year, which I think will coincide with the PlayStation VR 2 launch or the PlayStation Vive VR launch, will be the Pro, and that's the one that will have the better screens, the facial tracking, you know, things like that. And that unit, I believe, is going to have a price tag, probably in the probably and most likely in the $600 range, I believe. I believe the one that we'll see now is going to be the Plus, and again, this is just my speculation. I think that one we will see will have the controller tracking with the cameras, and you're going to have a few other perks inside the headset itself, and it's going to be probably somewhere around 400. That's what I'm thinking.
That's not bad. I'll believe that when I see it.
So do you think so that when that drops, then that means that the original Quest 2s have to drop in price too, right? You can't be selling the same that product for 400 and the
Well,
256 unless it's a 128 gig hard drive or something.
yeah, I would say possibly they'll do it in both. You know, I mean, they could just do it in the 256, and then you're talking probably talking a $500 headset to a $600 headset at that point. But if they do decide to do a 128, they definitely will not do a 64 gig again for sure. But if they do decide to do a 128, I mean, I could see that being 400 or 450.
Is 128 enough? Let's ask that, because you know we talk
That's a
about
great question.
Medal of Honor. Everybody's saying that would be your one game. So 128 doesn't sound like enough to me. It never really did sound like enough to me. That was my number one reason I didn't get the Quest 1, was 128 wasn't enough for the upscaled model. Even then, in my opinion, maybe it probably was. But games are getting so big that, and we don't want them getting smaller. And I think 128 is good for people that can get it. But if you have a 64 even now, I'm feeling really, I feel like you're a hoarder almost. You got a very tight little apartment and it's packed full of shit. So
Yeah, well, that's certainly going to be a deterrent for those people when it comes to these larger
Yeah.
applications that we're starting to see. Like, not everybody's going to buy into these games if they have to, you know, download it every time they want to play one. You know.
yeah.
And I'm hoping that these developers will get better with bringing either bringing ports over from the PC VR or making new games for Quest and making them more optimized. I mean, they're bringing Resident Evil 4 for 12 gigabytes. So I mean, Medal of Honor is it's kind of, I think for right now it's going to be a bit of an enigma of that size. I don't think we're going to see most games like that, but hopefully as technology gets better and the developers get more knowledge of how to program for these machines, it'll get better and won't take up as much space.
Do you think Resident Evil 4 will look as good as Resident Evil 7? You know what I mean? Like maybe 12 gigs isn't enough. And that's a lot of people were kind of afraid with, that maybe Resident Evil 4 isn't going to look that good. And I think it'll look good, but I don't think it's going to look anywhere near the experience I just had on a 5-year-old headset, and a 5-year-old game that blew me away at how just detailed it was. So I would submit that the 12 gigs is I just don't want I would rather go the other direction and take the gloves, the shackles off the devs and say, give me the beefy games on the Quest 2. So we're not constrained, right? Like optimization is amazing, but if you're going to get the graphics and the fidelity that we want, you're never going to get them. And it's going to take space, right? So.
And thus is the nature of the beast. The technology moves quickly, and I think in the case of these new Oculus headsets, I think that they're moving even a little bit more quickly than they initially had anticipated. I feel like the coming pressure from competitors like Sony and Apple have forced Facebook to accelerate their plans. So we're kind of seeing them wing it right now, which is why it seems like it's almost the Wild West with the games flying and the rumors about the hardware flying. I think they kind of pivoted as recently as 3 to 6 months ago with their plan and went to a more new accelerated plan for their future iterations. Now, with that said, why are we seeing this now? Why are we seeing the next thing being eye tracking and face tracking? Well, that kind of plays to our next headline. Facebook announces $50 million fund to, quote, build the metaverse responsibly. Now, we recently heard Zuck come out and basically relabel Facebook as a company, rebrand them as a, quote, metaverse company. So we've said it from the beginning here, ever since pretty much Facebook picked up Oculus, certainly since the Quest came out. We've said it that their end game isn't to be a gaming powerhouse. They're not in this for gaming. The games are the carrot on the end of the stick. They want to build a social platform. They want to build the metaverse. And Eric, it's kind of refreshing now to have all the cards on the table, right? Now we can see clearly what they're going for. And if we get a new headset this year and it does have these features on it, I think it's 100% so that they can accelerate their plan and get started on building this metaverse.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I mean, that now this is their goal. I mean, this is their. I mean, Facebook really, whether you hate Facebook or not, they are putting their cards behind VR. So, and that's a positive thing for us, whether you hate them or not, because or whether you support them or not. Because the more that Facebook supports VR, the more it forces everybody else's hands to support VR. You know what I mean? So it moves everybody forward, whether you hate Facebook or not. So if they have their focus and their mind of their billion quadrillion dollar company focused on a metaverse that revolves around AR and VR, this is a great thing for us guys. Don't be upset. Be happy.
What's responsibly?
That's a good question.
That title just is weird, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole. I didn't read the article, so maybe I should. I'm good now. I'm curious.
Well, obviously, Facebook, as much as they've invested in getting us to this point, if they felt like they could do it on their own, they would do it on their own. But they have come to realize over the last 12 months or so that this is much bigger than anything that they're going to be able to control. They know now that other players are going to get in on this game. So whereas before maybe their designs were to have Facebook be the metaverse and have complete control over every aspect of how shopping, commerce, education, enterprise, how all of this works in the new Internet 2.0. Now they realize that other people are going to have a hand in this as well. So when they talk about $50 million to ensure it being responsibly built, I think basically what that says is them trying to influence partners into building their view of what the metaverse should be.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to need it. I mean, if you look at this vision that they have, this is a huge undertaking that one company cannot pull off on its own. No way.
So, Roots, let me ask you. I mean, are you ready for the Ready Player One future? Are you excited for the metaverse? This is something we're going to see in our lifetime.
I think it's exciting in some extent, but I think it's also we're already detaching ourselves from the world, from nature as a whole already with our phones, the TV. People don't go out. Kids aren't playing outside anymore. So it's just like everything, every technology that exists. There's a double edge to it, right? There's good and bad. It's amazing. It's cool. It's going to be really exciting. I think the world's exciting. I think outside is really cool as well. And I think the balance. That's what I'm nervous about. Is us losing our humanity to this curated world that the big tech that's already kind of fucking us on every level everywhere we turn is now they're the ones curating this amazing metaverse, and I would rather it be somebody else. You know what I mean? But so I mean there's it can be good or it can be really bad. It could with the way things are going and the way people already are, I would submit that it's probably not going to turn into a good scenario down the road, but the optimist in me is going to hope it will. Um, so
Well, there's a lot of potential for good, and this is pretty much the same dilemma and the same case with all technology. It's a
absolutely.
double-edged sword.
Yep.
There's a potential for good, and there's a potential for evil, and it's really going to be up to the people whether or not this ultimately turns out to benefit mankind or lead to our, destruction of life as we know it today. Um, Paradise Decay says, when are you getting the Internet 3.0? I think we'll get Internet 3.0 around the time that Internet 2.0 becomes free for everyone.
Yes.
I think we will see the day that the governments of the world will provide free high-speed broadband wireless for every citizen as it becomes a public utility. Now, of course, that version of the Internet won't be the free Internet as we know it today. Free is I'm talking about speech, things that you can put on there. Obviously, when we get to that point in time, the government's going to exercise a much higher level of control of what you're able to do on the internet. But when we get there, I think that most people will be will have Internet 2.0 absolutely free, and then Internet 3.0 is going to provide some insane benefit, some crazy technology that we can't even conceptualize at this point in time.
100%. Enormous genitalia throwing $4.99 out there says, "Keep up the good work, fellas." And I love enormous genitalia. You know who else loves enormous genitalia, Wes?
My mom!
I know it, man. I mean, what kind of deal is that when you're not paying for enormous genitalia, but rather enormous genitalia is paying you?
It's hunting you
Pays,
down.
Fruit. It
Yeah.
pays to have enormous genitalia.
Hell yeah. You got to love 2021 when enormous genitalia is throwing money at you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anyway, so that's what we're kind of seeing here with this um rush to gain a foothold in the hardware sector. I think at some level, what we're seeing here is a rush to uh, build the foundation and control what the metaverse is going to be, which leads us into our next headline: a new quote standalone Valve VR headset teased by Deep Steam VR file dive. So, really quickly, before we even get into this topic, I want to state that most of what I'm going to say about this topic is speculation at this point, and most of it is Bradley's speculation. Bradley Lynch. Sadly, it's Bradley. Has been doing amazing work with the help of a few other people in basically uncovering everything that Valve has planned. And I don't know if you guys took in all the new revelations about this upcoming Valve VR headset. But Roots, this thing is, if Bradley is correct, this is going to be everything we ever wanted in a headset.
Nice. So is it this okay? This is a standalone, but it can be used as a PC VR, obviously, because it's Valve. Because I was talking to Scion VR, and he was saying he's not sure how he feels about a standalone headset from Valve. I thought he'd totally be thinking it was cool, but I think he's looking at it from the wrong perspective, right? I think this is gonna be an amazing headset, you know.
Traveling Man 3775 coming through with $5 support says, I love trains. All aboard.
Choot choot. You know who else loves trains, Wes?
My mom.
Thank you, Traveling Man, for the support as always. Much appreciated, friend. So this is a different kind of standalone. This is not a standalone in the way that Oculus Quest is a standalone. This is a true PCVR centric hybrid. If Bradley is correct, and again, this is all speculation, but if Bradley is correct, this specific headset is going to utilize something called split rendering. And what split rendering allows this headset to do, it works a lot like the one of the latest updates to Virtual Desktop, which uses the onboard processing power of the Quest in tandem with your PC to produce some really great results with regards to wireless VR. So, according to Bradley, this new Valve headset is going to have a standalone processor on board, but the whole thing is being built around this idea of splitting the load between the headset and some other machine, be that a PC, be that a Steam Deck, be that a tablet, or even a smartphone or a console, or if Bradley's correct, a head strap that you can buy for the headset itself that has a compute unit built right into the strap that works in tandem with the compute unit that's built into the visor to provide PCVR wirelessly without the need for a computer even. That just one of many features, Eric, that is speculated to be on this piece of hardware that really does, when I say this is everything that we've been looking for in a headset, I mean, this thing is the stuff of science fiction. And apparently they've been working on this for years at this point, and it's not that far away.
I mean, I was one of the people that said, yeah, people are crazy if you're going to think that this Steam Deck can run VR. And now I'm kind of thinking that maybe I was wrong. Maybe, it's a possibility that they launch in the Steam Deck in conjunction with possible headset coming out to run it. If you're using that Deck in conjunction with something else that's already in the headset, then it's not just running off the Steam Deck. You're using two separate systems to get the power that you need to render in the headset. So now I'm kind of like backtracking on this a little bit, and I think it's very possible that the Steam Deck could become a hub for a tetherless headset, or what you would call it a standalone headset. Now, my only question is, would it use the Steam store, or would you have to have a separate store like a Quest store where you're going to have different
Maybe a
games or
Steam
apps?
store.
This is all being built on current Steam. So the Steam that we know right now is the same Steam that's going to run on this headset, and the game's 100% identical, not watered down for this thing at all. And Roots, the way this is kind of being described, you don't have to completely backtrack, Eric. It's not that there's any headset on the market today that can run VR from the Steam Deck, but these things are being designed in conjunction to work one another, Roots, and it pretty much makes this Steam Deck turn into this puck that you've often theorized about throughout the history of the channel. This small unit that you could tether to that would allow you to play PCVR on the go That's basically what they're building here, but there's building it so that it's up to the user how they want to supplement it, whether it be from a PC, a Steam Deck, a special head strap, a phone, even a Steam console. We've seen some patents or what have you pointing that there might be a Steam console out at some point. Um, Roots, this thing could pretty much turn the Steam Deck into that mythical puck that you're always talking about.
I don't know. And how crazy is it going to be that people are going to be able to take this Steam Deck, potentially, and this headset, like Eric, he travels for work or whatever. Now you have full VR capability, right? That's crazy, man. I mean, you could even be running in, I'm assuming you could run Oculus games off there with Revive, probably, potentially, maybe. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of Valve's approach to gaming in general, not just VR, but gaming in general versus Oculus, Sony, and everyone else. Valve has always maintained that they are a PC company, and basically any kind of standalone or any kind of handheld that they make, it's going to be built around the concept of PC gaming. And the number one thing that makes PC gaming what it is the ability to modify and upgrade. That's why people love PCs. That's why people spend so much money on them, because they can build them the way that they want. They can upgrade them on the fly. And apparently, this next iteration of Valve's VR headset, you're going to be able to do just that. You're going to be able to put it together and configure it in multiple different ways, um, right down to what's powering it. And you're going to be able, it's going to be extremely future proof to the point where you buy this headset, and this is the last headset you're going to need for 5, 6, 7 years, because you're just going to be able to change out what's powering it to be able to upgrade in the future.
I mean, think about this. Think about the possibility that you could buy a Steam Deck for, I mean, what's the lowest one? I mean, you can get a Steam Deck, I think the middle model for like $500. So if you can get a Steam Deck and you can run your Steam off of that, and then you buy a Valve headset for whatever the price point's going to be for this thing, say it's $700 or $800, because you're not going to need lighthouses, don't think, with this one. So say it's $700-800, you can possibly run PC VR at a high level without having a computer that costs you $1,500, $2,000+ I mean, PCs are not going down in price, guys, and you can't even get these cards right now as it is, and it's only going to get. I think it's only going to get a little bit worse as we get going here, and things get harder to get. So, the availability to run PC VR for possibly less than $1,500 or $1,300 to have the headset and basically a handheld computer, right?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing here, Roots. Let me quickly run down some of the other things that are projected to be featured in this headset. Not only is it going to have eye tracking for social interactions, for dynamic foveated rendering, it's also going to feature varifocal. They've been working with a company that does varifocal lenses, the small, compact, layered varifocal. Um, it's going to feature 4K per eye micro OLED displays, extremely high resolution, high contrast displays, with new lenses in it to allow for proper field of view. Um, and again, advanced inside out tracking, such actually quite similar to what we've been speculating Facebook's going to bring. Completely 100% accurate inside out tracking. So again, a headset that's extremely future proof. I mean, way ahead in terms of resolution, features of anything we've ever seen before. Really, the only question for me when it comes to this thing is how much is it going to cost? And that's really a big deal, because I think that if Steam bites the bullet, eats some of the cost here, and releases this thing at an affordable price, now all of a sudden I think that Facebook has a real problem on their hands. And I think that there's a huge opportunity here for Steam to invest in themselves, invest in the PC platform, and invest in their own version of the metaverse. And this could be a nightmare scenario for Facebook, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And at the same time, if they do that, they're giving Facebook a kick in the nuts, because this is safe Facebook space, right? The standalone, and they could even develop games that are well. I guess they wouldn't even need to. You would never need to make any standalone games. I mean, it would just go to PC, right? If ever you get them in everybody's hands. I mean, everything you said about this sounds amazing, and it also makes me think, Steam Deck. What? Like, why would I connect this to a Steam Deck when I got my PC? This you're still going to want to have a powerful PC to connect it to, right? Because that you're going to be pushing on those 4K by 4K in each eye. I mean,
Well,
that's going to make that's going to be amazing, right?
right, but we need to keep in mind that it is going to be utilizing next generation optimization techniques, such as eye tracking with the
Mm.
dynamic foveated rendering, the AI upscaling like FSR we're hearing a lot about lately, and DLSS. All of this stuff is going to be at its disposal because in essence it's running x86, PC architecture, but it's running on a Linux based system, which is huge because if they do decide to go mass market with this, built on Linux. Linux is an open source operating system. It's open source, meaning anyone can build anything that they want to in it. It's complete freedom. So while we have Facebook over here putting up $50 million to responsibly build their vision of the metaverse, we have Steam over here who's just saying, you know what, guys, you make the metaverse what you want it to be. Here's everything that you'll ever need to do it. Again, kind of a nightmare scenario where for Facebook, where we could end up having this situation where we have two different metaverses, right? We have the button down, highly regulated, highly controlled Facebook metaverse versus the Steam Wild West open source version, kind of like a internet versus a dark web sort of thing going on. Which is really it's quite beautiful if you think about it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And this is also going to, I think this is also going to affect Oculus's plans of basically focusing everything on their standalone. So you may see them, which I think we all agreed at some point they would anyway, would come back full circle. You might see them start to maybe push back into the PC VR market more. Whether that means doing something different or like Valve is doing or whatever. But I think you might see a bigger focus in the future. Maybe not in the next 6 to 10 months, but soon. In PC VR and not so much in standalone because they're not going to be able to combat Valve with if this is true. They're gonna have a problem.
There's a coming storm here, man. A virtual digital Cold War, if you will, for people. People are finally starting to see the potential for VR and AR as a technology. And they're basically coming around to what Facebook's been saying all along, that this is the next big move for computing, that in 10 to 20 years, VR AR is going to be just as crucial to everyday life as a smartphone is today, as laptops are today. And we're starting to see everyone jump in like a new gold rush, if you will, trying to get in on this thing. Everyone except Microsoft for whatever reason. But I think they'll be drugging, kicking, and screaming as well. And I think you're right, Eric. I think Facebook will, if things are going the way that that we're speculating here that they could go, I think with that eventually, 2, 3 years, maybe 4 years down the line, we'll see Facebook get drugged back into PC gaming, kicking and screaming because they see so much of their investment going to nothing based on the actions of their competitors in Sony and Apple and Valve, and I'm sure that there will be others pop up in the future as well.
Yeah, storm is coming, but we all win, which is awesome because this storm might be bad for the companies because it make them scramble, but this is great for all of us, man.
I do want to remind everybody this is speculation too, because Onakazi's saying It's a very Pollyanna view of what we're describing. We're just speculating, and this whole thing, like, we don't even really speculate too much on hardware. So
No,
this is
no,
this is
yeah,
special.
humor us a little bit here. Hardware speculation is something that we rarely get a touch on. So,
Yes.
but we're just putting a big what if. So pretend you're watching Anthony, okay, and
Yeah.
then humor us a little bit here. So yeah, again, a lot of evidence pointing to this Steam VR headset being in development for years at this point. Um, what do you think is the possibility that we have some kind of announcement this month? And the reason why I say that is because I'll point to back when the Oculus Quest and Oculus Rift S were announced. Um, Steam rolled right in with the index and stole all of that thunder. Now, at the end of the day, it didn't really amount to much because Quest won at the end of the day. That's what consumers went for. But we saw a very, uh, highly competitive move from Steam in trying to squash what Facebook was doing. Do you guys think we could see that again right now? Since all the more it's all out on the table now anyway. Everyone knows now what they're working on due to all of these leaks, and even if it's a year away, do you think it's possible we could have them come out and say, you know what, this is what we've got working on, what we've been working on. If you guys want to hold on to your money just a little bit longer.
I think so. Well, I mean, they've did it before. That was a good strategy, and why would you not want to do it again? And like you said, everything's getting really competitive. And so all these things are being leaked, and I don't think it's by mistake. I think that these things are being purposefully leaked by Valve and Facebook, and I think they're both kind of racing towards the to screwing the other one over. There's actual competition going on, and this has got to be for Facebook. Before it was like, okay, the index is great. It's PC. Now you're talking about something that's now wireless. Now it can potentially, kick, like I said, Facebook in the nuts, and they're not just they may be wanting to give this technology to people for a cheaper price and all the good things about Facebook, but they're a company, and they're going to see this as a threat, and they're going to. So both, I think this is good for everybody. This is why competition is king, right? So
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
they love trolling Oculus, man. Valve just loves it, man. They do.
They stand for completely opposite things with regards to this technology and their view of the future. Like it's completely divergent. Both of them, some self-serving interest at heart, of course, but still two completely different philosophies with how to develop the technology. One being more controlled, and the other one being, just allowed to go where it goes, depending on where the people take it. Um, and Wolveraza with the $5 support says if Valve goes with details fully or even half of that, it is the meat or beat that I have meant for Oculus. Yeah, it is. It is. And it's going to, you know, even if it isn't fully successful, what it could be successful in is getting Facebook to alter their plans a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what all this could mean is, we still end up in Facebook's metaverse, but it isn't quite the hardcore metaverse that they had initially planned, but something a little bit closer to what Valve is trying to build.
yeah, absolutely. Spry Guy says that when he purchased the original index, he bought with the intention that he wouldn't need to upgrade to the next generation, um, and just skip the next generation. But if Index 2 is as good as Bradley says, he's going to have to probably buy one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the price for me. Like, obviously this would be an amazing headset. I would probably, even if it was like $1,000, I'd probably start selling stuff to try to get one. Right. I mean, if it does all that, like, and I don't have to buy friggin' lighthouses. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now, guys. I'm thinking about taking this, and I think I'm gonna sell my index so I can get
What?
ready for the upcoming storm.
Oh,
I'm gonna get what I can get for it now. I'm gonna sell
that's
my
a good
index.
idea.
And
That's a good idea.
Smart,
You
smart.
don't need the base stations, right?
no, I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think you're gonna see that anymore. So, and I can definitely live with my Oculus Quest 2 running my PC VR, no problem.
I think it's a
Until the
smart
meantime,
move. I think it's a
but
smart move, Eric, because
yeah,
index is pretty much, it's still pretty much as valued as it ever has been in VR, but we can see the writing on the wall. Its day's coming, and it's going to be last year's tech soon.
yeah,
So I think now would be a perfect time to sell your index, and
Yep.
that goes
yeah.
for any of you out there who has a secondary solution to play on in the meantime. I think now is the best time to move on from your index because something new's coming within the next year, most certainly.
Let me ask you this, Wes. Is now a good time for you to move on from your reverb?
I thought about
Mm,
it.
yeah.
Like if somebody offered me $500 for it right now, I probably would take it. But you could buy them for 400 new when they go on sale. So I don't know. I don't know. I'd want to sell it for $400. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
use it too much. I use it just as much as I use my Quest now, if
Well,
not more so.
You
So
well, and
wouldn't though
you
if
have
you
it
had the
lined out
index
now.
too. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. But you have
I'm
it lined
sorry.
out now. I mean, you have it all pretty much lined
Yeah,
out
yeah,
now. You have it
yeah. It
all
works. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it works great now. I love my dude. I went into Lone Echo in that thing the day before yesterday, and it was just breathtaking. Like I couldn't believe how good that looked.
The wheel
Um,
needs to go
Mm.
in preparation.
well, I
Everything's
got that
got to
wheel.
go.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. I think that's kind of the moral of the story is we have to figure it out because I'm getting a PlayStation VR, PS5 VR. That's
Day
a
one.
done deal no matter what.
Yeah, me too.
So now, really, I guess the last question with this topic is, and I think Onakazi is correct here. He says if Valve does announce something, I think that it won't be more than a look over here and now wait style announcement. I think that that's exactly what they could do. Is just put it out on the table what they're working on. No release date, no price. Just hey, we are working on this. It is coming. If they do that now, I ask you the question, same question I asked you 20 minutes ago. Are you in on the new Facebook headset that gives you, eye tracking, better controller tracking,
Mm.
a little bit better screens, $500, which could be half of, your Valve headset that's coming.
I'm
Does
selling
this
my
change?
Quest 2 either way for the Facebook headset, so it doesn't change my thing. I'm upgrading to that thing. Even if I got half of what I paid for my Quest 2, it just means I'm paying 300 for my new Quest. You know what I mean? So
Eric, does it change the answer to that question for you at all?
Well, it definitely sets me up to having some interesting conversations with my wife about me buying multiple headsets. I can tell you that. I would say that, yeah, guys, I'm not kidding. I love my index, and if people think I am not, just because I run a Facebook group, I am not, all about Facebook. I love my Valve index, but I would definitely sell my index for whatever I can get for it right now so I can get money. I mean, I would, ideally, I'd love to have both, and I'll probably do what I can do. I'll probably fire sale it like Wes, but yeah, I want to have both.
all three,
All
Oh
three,
my
you
God,
mean?
Jesus, yeah, all three,
and
yeah.
all three
Oh my God.
potentially within a 6-month period, maybe.
Yeah, because I have to have the PlayStation VR too. I mean, I think that, and we're not really talking about that right now, but I think that is going to be an amazing headset.
The
It's just
games,
crazy.
the games
Yeah,
are gonna.
Games.
you're
That's
right.
And
what's
that's
You're
the
right.
gonna be
thing.
it.
Exactly. You can't. I mean, you have games that you're not going to be able to play anywhere else on that headset. So to me, I don't know. I don't know what I would if I was into a point where I couldn't fire sale everything and I had to choose. Could you imagine? I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Sell your daughter. No,
No.
just kidding.
It's a for sure PS5 VR number one for me because it's all about games for me.
Same.
And all this metaverse stuff is cool, but I'm buying this stuff to play games. And Valve can put out the coolest headset in the world with all the bells and whistles. But if people aren't making games for it, then it don't matter. And if it is this awesome headset and they only sell like 1 million of them, like where's the incentive for developers to go and develop for that when you have multiple millions of the other, standalone VR, console VR? Uh, I mean, it really, for this to work for them the way that it would need to work to revitalize PC VR and put it in the driver's seat, uh, Steam Valve is going to have to eat some of this cost and release it at a price that makes us say what we say about Oculus Quest. Like, I can't believe that they're selling this for that price.
Yeah.
Do you think they would do that though? Do you think has that ever been Valve's plan, or not plan, but MO? I mean, they've never done that. I mean, look at the index. They were like, we don't give a shit what anybody else is selling their stuff at, $1,000, guys, and then that's what the price. And we don't care.
They were
So you're
targeting
gonna
the
just
enthusiasts, though. This may be targeting a different audience if they're going up
That's true.
against Facebook. It just really
Yeah.
depends on what their intentions are, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they don't do this, they're basically going to sit here with this cool piece of tech that a select handful of people have. And instead of playing amazing next gen games on it, they're going to have 3 games. And then they're just going to talk all day long about how the other platforms are holding VR back. When
Right.
in fact, it's Valve themselves that are holding VR back by not making a device that is attainable for common people.
Well, think
Well,
about
that's
this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is that the question? Do you consider the index a success or a failure? At that point, then is it? Did they screw themselves with that price? And do you think they would think about doing it differently this time?
Yeah, well, they screw themselves with the controllers that Wolveraza wants to try. Okay, if they depends on how they market it too. Do they market it as the other half of the Steam Deck? It's just already $500. Then that $500 price point makes it $1,000 for the whole package, and that could be a really, really, draw a lot of people in. You know what I mean? Especially the people they're saying, look, you can't afford a computer, you can't get that video card to play VR. Well, here's the whole package, $1,000. You get this and this. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that could be a ploy, right? Or $1,200 or whatever.
That is a good point. And we got to remember that this headset is speculated to be very modular, and the base unit, if you're buying it to use with a PC that you already have or a Steam Deck, that could be quite affordable. It could be the model that comes with the the head strap that has both sides of the compute built into it. That could be the one that's expensive.
1,000, yeah.
But the basic model that you can tether up with a PC or a Steam Deck, that may be $600, right? And then if you want
Right.
the full on head strap, that's 1,000, 1,100.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is true, because a lot of the price of the index was the base stations, and the controllers. If you ever price those controllers out separately, I mean, they're crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. It could be, if you're getting rid of the base stations and the controls go into a more basic control and not the funky knuckles controllers. Yeah, I think you're right along those lines of being more affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many questions.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's cool to speculate.
yeah, it's lots unfolding in a very short amount of time here. I'm sure we'll be back to this topic again in the very, very near future, probably within the month. But it's exciting times. And but with that said, we have a lot to talk about. We need to move on from this headline and move up to a bit more of a rapid fire approach as we normally do with headlines. But all of this talk about everyone getting in on this gold rush for VR, it's evident everywhere, which leads us into our next headline. What is the Vive Flow? HTC's mysterious new device. So we were talking a moment ago about what the possibility could be that Valve tries to step on Facebook's announcement by announcing something either a little before or at the same time that Facebook is announcing something. Well, we see HTC doing their damnedest to try to do just that. Now, obviously, people not really, people are pretty much done with HTC as a hardware manufacturer at this point. So nobody really cares what HTC is saying, but they're trying anyway. On the 14th of this month, we're going to find out about Vive Flow, and no idea what this thing is. Roots, do you have any clue what this little canister could be housing?
I have no idea, but like you said, it's like we've been hyped up for so many times by HTC for whatever hardware it was, and I've always been let down. The only thing that I've ever seen that HTC's done really well is their Viveport Infinity, which ironically didn't start out well, but they curated it and made it really good. But I with the Index and Facebook out there, and Apple entering the fray, like HTC, the only thing that I've seen that HTC can do continuously is lose money, and that's not something I'm going to bank on. So
Eric, we've seen a few different teaser images for this thing. All of them depict some people, doing some kind of activity, be it watching a movie in bed or working at their desk. You see the canister, but you don't see the upper half of the person's face. So we know that this is some kind of wearable tech. What we don't know is what it is exactly. But if it fits in that canister, this has to be smart glasses, right?
I mean, how many times are we going to fall for this trap with HTC, where they dangle something that looks like it's going to be fantastic and phenomenal, and then they like stick in some piece of shit that you're like, what? Why? What are you doing? What is
the
this?
focus.
You're throwing me the Vive Focus. Not even that. I mean, they're throwing you something that you could be even worse than that. So I don't know what in the heck they're doing here. They're so weird. I mean, they could the way they do this marketing and the way they just like give you little snippets of a picture or something, or like they show a headset with a cover on it sitting on a desk, and then it turns out to be the biggest piece of crap you've ever seen. But yeah, I don't know, man. I hope it's glasses. I guess. I mean, they kind of show the canister, and then the top that comes off the canister might look like some type of portable device that might run some type of AR glasses.
Right.
But again, I can't trust anything with HTC. They continue to find new ways to screw these things up.
Yeah. You know what I don't see in any of these pictures? Controllers. There's no controllers. So those people out there that are speculating this might be some kind of compact VR device, I don't think so, man. I think that these are glasses. Due to the small form factor of that canister, due to the fact that there's no controllers, I think that these are either smart glasses or some kind of an AR product that are meant to head off Facebook at the pass. If you're judging by what Facebook said last year during Facebook Connect, and you're HTC and you're trying to project a year from now, what are they going to be working on? I mean, it looks like AR is the way that they're going, right? So they may have zigged where Facebook zagged in anticipation of what they thought Facebook would be going for this year, only to kind of misstep and really head them off at the past 2 years before they even get to this point. Um, but as always, guys, I will judge this product on its own merits, its own price point, and its own feature set. As bad as HTC has dicked everything in the past, I mean, if they put out the most amazing headset tomorrow at the most affordable price, all of a sudden I'm an HTC fan again. So really, we're going to have to just wait and see.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And like I was saying, Viveport was horrible when it first launched. So much so that a lot of people swore it off. Now it's the best deal in VR for software, right? So, all it takes is one good product. So you're right, Wes. Hopefully this is something that maybe they've decided they're just not going to be in the VR and they're going to focus on something else because everybody else really is focusing VR now. Facebook's got their stuff on the side. They're doing AR as well, but maybe the HTC could beat everybody to the punch. So it'd be kind of cool.
I think it's funny. You read all these press outlets trying to speculate what it could be, and everyone almost universally says this is probably another enterprise product from them. And I think that's hilarious because one of the advertisements, one of the teasers, is literally a lady laying in bed with a bucket of popcorn. Like, how enterprise is that? That's completely consumer use, and it just goes to show that what we've said all along is true, that this enterprise tag that they put on stuff is just an excuse. It just means expensive is all it means. It means we want to price gouge. So I'm tired of all this enterprise talk. We should just call it what it is. a friggin' rook. It's
What?
expensive.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
do they even need to do that? Apple does the same thing, and they just tell you it's chic and it's you have to have
Right,
it, and we're going to
right.
charge you more for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I do.
I think Roots is right. He said, how many times have you said it? You know, HTC has one headset that was really successful, and that was the Vive. And Valve made that headset, guys. HTC, you know, that Valve was the partner with them on that one. So they really have never done on their own a headset that makes sense in any way. And I think Wes is right. I think we're looking at a more of a media device. I mean, this could be like a Go almost, right? A new Go, where you're talking more of a watch, you know, movies, TV. You know, that little hub could be a speaker for all we know. You know,
Well,
that's
we're
what I
gonna
think.
know soon. We're less than 2 weeks away on this one. So we're gonna know soon. For anyone who's interested, this event that they're going to unveil this thing is fully viewable in VR using the Engage platform, which they have used in the past. You do have to RSVP though, so if this is something that you're going to want to attend, you need to get in there and register now for it.
if it's during your workday, Wes, are you taking the day off?
Mhm.
Shit, maybe for Oculus Connect. I'm not gonna, not for this HTC thing. We'll read the headlines afterwards
Yeah.
and see what they're doing. Anyway, that's about enough hardware talk. Let's talk about what we all came to the game for, right? Let's talk about the software. And this first one's is a bit of an update. It's a bit of a revisit to the first topic that Eric and I covered when he first came to our channel. It's a rumor from Gamatsu, which is a reputable Japanese media source. Rumor Konami developing Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, and Silent Hill revivals. So here we have Gamatsu basically saying that all of the most popular Konami franchises have new games in the works, and with specifics given to Silent Hill. I mean, the at first the article mentions that a prominent Japanese developer is working on the Silent Hill game, but then at the end of the article, it comes back and says, yes, that Japanese developer is in fact Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions. So, Eric, this is huge. Like, Gamatsu don't just throw hyperbole out there. Like, if they're saying that they have a source that's saying that this is in fact correct, then this is the best single piece of evidence that we have had from the very beginning of this thing, that we are in fact going to be getting the probably what is the most it's going to be the most highly anticipated game ever at this point, right? People have been wanting this game since PT launched on PlayStation, but apparently it is coming. It is funded by Sony, and Kojima is involved and has patched things up with Konami. And this is just all amazing news, isn't it?
I mean, to me, that's the big news is Konami and Kojima, being partnering back up again and putting whatever happened with them in the past away, so they can get back to making these fantastic games. Because Konami has been making pachinko machines for the last how many years? They haven't even been in gaming, so they are refocusing. I think with new leadership on top, so it seems like they are really looking to rekindle some of these IPs that have made them what they are, and to do that they need to tap Kojima for this for sure.
So, Roots, it seems like we're finally going to get the game that PT was modeled after. We're finally going to get that next level horror game. Are you scared yet?
I'm scared already. I was scared from the first one. I'm more excited to see Castlevania in there. I'm thinking of a Castlevania VR game would be amazing, and I would take a classic platformer approach, third person version of it all day long in VR. Could be
We
amazing,
should try
right?
to Helix Vision that. Like, I bet some of those later Castlevania games on Steam would totally work in Helix Vision and be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I would think it would be amazing. It'd be just as amazing as us playing through Gauntlet, and that was so good. And that's why Diablo 2 is so good. And we think it would be good in 4 packs, but we're scared to try. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a good point. Castlevania for sure.
It's funny how you got three of us here, and three of us can grab on each one of these, because Wes would definitely go with Silent Hill. Roots is saying Castlevania, and I would be probably most excited about
Metal
the
Gear.
Metal Gear. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that was mine. I love Metal Gear, man. But I mean, I
Yeah,
loved all three of them. But I mean, it's just funny how they have it right here, man. They have three of the best IPs out there that people get crazy about. Can you just imagine if they started announcing these things? It would blow everything up.
you
Yeah.
you know, of these 3 franchises, the one I have, the most history with by far is Castlevania. Like, I've played some Silent Hill. I was a huge, huge Castlevania fan when I was young. Like, that was one of my favorite franchises. So I'm kind of with Roots on this one. Like,
Yeah.
as excited as I am for a new Silent Hill, I'm more excited about that because it's Kojima doing it. Whereas if it's just the IPs on their, on their own, Castlevania is my jam. I love. There's not enough vampire games, guys. Just in general, this is something that the market is dropping the ball on, especially in VR.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, little Simon Belmont action. Come on, who doesn't want that?
Yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
Headline: Resident Evil 4 brings survival horror to Oculus Quest 2 in October. So we've known that this game has been coming for a while. We have speculated all along that this game would drop in October. I kind of expected them to drop it live during Facebook Connect, but not the case at all. We're finding out a month ahead of time that we're getting this game a week ahead of time. So by the time Facebook Connect gets here, we will have thoroughly digested this one. Roots, are you excited for this game? Because I am. I'm over the moon excited for it.
Absolutely. I'm more excited about what this means for VR. There's so many people excited about this game. When I mention to people that aren't in VR that this game is coming to VR, it's like you're given that you're hanging a little bit more credibility on virtual reality for these people that have no idea what virtual reality is. Every AAA franchise that they know and love that's on the platform just gives it more validity. And so when I say Resident Evil 4 is coming, especially recently, it's coming next month, people are like, "Oh my god, I got to get a headset." So I think it's going to sell a lot of headsets, even though all these games have already been doing that. And just being able to say this is now in VR and it's on, a very accessible headset is huge. And it's just one more reason why we're seeing everything snowballing. Is every one of these little announcements, every one of these games coming out is just one more. It's like we're kicking it up 2 or 3 more miles per hour, right? And we're already going 80, 90. And soon we're going to be going 150, and we're going to be like, what the fuck's going on? I'm already feeling like that. It's crazy.
I agree wholeheartedly. The name value of this in VR is so valuable on its own in its own right. To have a game like this that isn't being funded by Sony is huge. Um, and we said it when they announced it, we kind of took it as a possible, shot across the bow at Sony, like Facebook saying, "Hey, look, you know, we can play this game as well." So it makes me really excited to see how Sony responds after the new headset comes out. But Eric, with regards to Resident Evil 4 VR, are you at all concerned that the cutscenes are still 2D? That the ladder climbing sequences in the game, or all the climbing sequences, kind of zoom you out into a cinema view and you watch yourself climb. There's some real weird decisions here with regards to certain kinds of interactions in the game. It's not your standard color by numbers VR game in certain scenarios.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough thing. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them doing that if they do the rest of it right. So it won't bring me out of the experience if I back off into either a cinematic mode, or if it brings me into a third person. That's fine with me. But you got to do everything else right. And here is where I'm extremely excited and extremely nervous about this game. I don't want to see another Medal of Honor. I want this game to succeed. I think this game needs to succeed. If it goes down the road of Medal of Honor, which I don't think it will, just because already the price point I think is going to be closer to like $40, I think. So, and I think that was one of Medal of Honor's biggest problems. But the other problem with Medal of Honor was expectations, right? And expectations are through the roof for this game. So I'm okay with what they're doing as long as they do everything else right. I just hope everybody else is, has the expectations in check for this game. I want it to be great. I'm very, very worried.
You,
I,
you know that
Yeah.
the PlayStation homers are going to just murder this game based on that stuff, right? They're
well,
gonna
but
they're gonna run it through the mud.
I just played Resident Evil 7, and when I went to a ladder, it cut out to a third person view, and I went down the ladder. I didn't climb it myself. You know what I mean? It was the same thing. So I don't see why that's a big deal. You know what I mean? I think the PlayStation people will be more facetious about it because they're not able to play it, just like the PC people have been about not being able to play Resident Evil 7. I have no
Right.
idea. I don't know anything about this game. I never played it, so it's going to be cool for me, the story wise, to be able to experience it. But I'm like Eric. I want to see it do well so that this can be another hat to hang on the you know on the hook instead of something to be pointing at, saying, "Look, CVR is always fucks up every game, every IP that you love." This is another example. Remember Medal of Honor, Resident Evil 4. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be good.
Will Raza says gunplay better be good.
Mhm.
Now you have to keep in mind that this is a remake of a game that came out what 15 years ago. This is not going to be a modern VR simulation game, right? This is going to be something that plays more these Serious Sam type games. Not exactly like that, but this is more going to be a tribute to the original game than a built from the ground up VR game. So while it's going to be way more immersive than the original version, I would not put the same expectations on this game from an interaction standpoint that I would a game that's being built from scratch for VR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
going into it looking at that like that, you might come away disappointed.
Yeah. And where I think this game has a better shot, say the Medal of Honor, is it's going to be, Quest only, Quest 2 only, I think. It's not Quest 2 only, right?
Yeah, Quest 2
Um,
only. That's right.
so I think you're going to have a better shot just because the consumer, most of the Quest consumers are a little bit more forgiving with things like that than say like a Steam or a PC VR player. Um, so I don't think they're going to care about those things. And the PlayStation players who are going to kill it probably aren't going to play it anyway. So
Right.
the people that are going to be buying it are going to be Quest owners who want the experience of playing Resident Evil. And again, I think they're less demanding than say a PCVR only player who would just kill it.
Onikazi nailed it. My sentiments exactly. This is not the greatest song in the world. It's just a tribute. Okay, so we need to keep our expectations in check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, headline: Medal of Honor Above and Beyond coming to Quest 2. Cross buy confirmed. So, a bit of a revelation here. We know that this game's launching for $40. Cross buy is confirmed.
Hmm.
Roots 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? That means that the PC VR version is going to be $40 when this thing launches.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a good deal. I own it on Steam, so I will not be buying this game. Oh no, do I own it on Steam? I bought Onslaught. I don't think I own this game, so maybe I will buy it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's me. I'm playing on a shared copy of it. I never shelled the $60 out for this one either.
Yeah, so it's gonna drop $40. So just Steam drop. It's got to drop, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. We're in a bit of a unique situation here because I do think this game is way better than people give it credit for being. A lot of the things it was criticized on have been fixed, and I don't see them repeating the same mistakes on their Oculus Quest launch that they had with their PC launch. I think that $40 is a spot on price for this game. The only question, Eric, how is it on Quest? That's really the only question. Is it good on Quest or is it not?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation right now after they announced this that they held back the PC version so that they could do this on the Quest. That the PC version did not live up to what it was, what it could have been. Now I saw it in the PC version; that thing is beautiful. But this is what the speculation is, that they held it
Yeah,
back
I don't
so they
believe
could
that at
they could
all.
they could port this over to the Quest and do it easily. Because I think they did have those plans all along. I think they were always going to go to the Quest with this game. I don't think it was something they thought about just a little while ago. I think they were always going to do it. I don't agree with that either. I'm just saying what the what the PCVR people put out there. They're always blaming the Quest for these things, but
This thing is a third of the size of the PC version. Like
yeah,
that didn't get held
yeah,
back at all.
yeah, yeah, and I think they're going to launch it with the multiplayer too, which is crazy. Because that
Notably though, the multiplayer does not support crossplay. So Quest players play
right.
with Quest players, PC players play with PC players. Roots, is that any kind of deterrent for you at all?
The multiplayer was never. I mean, it was initially was my what I was excited about, but it turned out to be a little janky. But I mean, it would definitely be. Uh, I don't know. That's weird. It's weird that they aren't going to be on the same thing. It would definitely make multiplayer a lot more successful, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think they kind of that's the beauty of having a cross-platform game come to the Quest is that you can kind of treat your PC launch as a trial run, and you learn things about your launch. You learn about the mistakes that you made there, and now you have a chance to relaunch on the bigger platform, right? The one that has more people. And while multiplayer was an abysmal failure on PC because of the story mode, largely the story mode kept people out of the game, which kept people out of the multiplayer. Here we have them getting a second chance on a more populous platform. And I think that not only this game might be a hit on Oculus Quest, but I think the multiplayer might actually be a hit as well because they've done what we've asked these developers to do all along, and that is make multiplayer a feature instead of making a multiplayer game. And I'm glad this game's getting a redo because again, I think that it's criminally underrated on Steam now, based upon those initial impressions, which again, were justified at the time. But they fixed it, guys. This isn't some crap indie dev who puts something out as a cash grab and never comes back to it. They fixed it, and I think that if it wasn't ready to release on Oculus Quest, that they wouldn't be bringing it to Oculus Quest. I think they already know what they have to watch out for, and I think that this is going to be a completely different launch than what we saw on PC.
Let's hope so.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. I think they've been working on this almost the whole time. I really do, and I think it will be just for the reasons I said. That I think Resident Evil 4 will stay out of the traps that the PC version of Medal of Honor fell into. I think the Quest version of Medal of Honor will succeed because they're not going to get panned like they did with the PC version because people are going to love this game for what it is on the Quest. And many people that don't have a PC are going to be able to play this game finally, and they're going to love it. And if it looks anywhere near what it looks like on the PC, it's going to be amazing.
And it's reasonably priced. So that
Yeah, and
makes a big difference.
cross buy out the gate, that's going to be big for them too.
Um, Onakazi says from the devs during the AMAs, they did not evaluate it until after the PC release. Yeah, I remember that. They were very non-committal at first when asked about a Quest version. They said we'll try to do it if it's possible. And I remember at that point saying, "There's no way. There's no way this game comes out on Quest. No way in hell." And here we are, 6 months later, and that's exactly what's happening. Um, and just more of a statement than a question, Eric. Just something for you to think about. Food for thought. Um, we've seen amazing Quest games that come in at around 1 to 2 gigabytes. Then we see like the next tier of games that brought it up to like 5 and 6 gigabytes. Amazing games. And then we have a game like Saints and Sinners, which is friggin' mind blowing at around 10 gigabytes. This game is pushing close to 50 gigabytes. I mean, is this going to be the most incredible Quest game that we've ever seen?
Yes, 100%.
Should
Has
be.
to be, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Either that or the worst optimized game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
right.
hopefully I think it will be though. I mean, 50, that's a lot, man. This is exactly why 128 gigs is probably not enough space, and hopefully the next models of the Quest will be upping the space. We should a terabyte, man. Why are we dinking around with thousands of gigabytes? I don't understand, man. Or hundreds, not even thousands. What the hell am I thinking?
Yeah.
Anyway, exciting times on the Oculus Quest platform for sure. But remember Oculus Rift? Headline: Lone Echo 2 Oculus Rift launch date confirmed for October. Roots, I thought they said this was coming in December or like Q4.
I don't know. Maybe they overestimated since they underestimated so many times. I don't know. Do you
Think
think
they
it's,
just said fuck it? You think they just said, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get it over with.
let's just pull the band-aid off, get it out there, and let everybody experience the goodness of Lone Echo 2, which I'm still on the fence, Wes. Still torn. I don't know if I will be playing this game or not. I guess if I have access to it, I'll check it out. I just don't see myself running out and buying it because I just don't care.
Yeah, I'm not going to drop $40 on it on day one. But I gotta say, man, after like I said, I was just in Lone Echo. Eric, I don't know how they can make this game any more beautiful than the original. The original, in the G2 with my with my 3080 like fully pushing it. I mean, it's as good looking today as any game out there. It's as good looking as any game out there. And it made me like literally, it made me want to walk back my statements that I made about Ionia last week being so beautiful because Lone Echo is just, it's the most photorealistic game that I've ever played in VR. Like there to this day, nothing else really quite matches it on in terms of realism. The lighting in this game is something to behold, and I don't know. I mean, if they improve this much in the sequel, it's going to be an amazing experience. I'm not sure about the timing of it.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. I don't even know. I mean, is it gonna be any better? I mean, is it just gonna continue the story and maybe just stay the same beautiful game that it's always been and not have
Well,
anything graphically better?
I can say I did notice that Liv is not quite as curvy as she used to be. She looks a lot more like Justin Bieber now than her old self.
Well, that's 5 years in time. We've gone through a lot of social changes, and then maybe it was probably not politically correct to make her curvy anymore. So let's make her just a stick figure. This
She
is the
looks like
thing.
a teenage boy, though.
This is
She
the thing.
does.
This is the thing. They need to improve on the gameplay. They've nailed the realism. They've nailed the way it looks. I was always blown away by the way it looked. I just got bored going through the story. Give me something more than just, yeah. And I imagine they will. I mean, this game was brought out in that time when everything was tech demo-y and just picking up stuff and pulling a lever was enough. You know what I mean? Now I'm assuming that will be what really gets me into this game. There's people out there that are like, I'm buying the shit out of this on Lone Echo 2 Diz, because you're invested in the story, and I guarantee it's not the gameplay that's pulling you through. That's what's holding me back. If I start to see reviews, Wes comes on here, Eric comes on here raving about the gameplay, and man, this is so much better, I'm in. If it's the same mediocre playthrough, I just don't see myself being wow. The days of me going in and looking at how sharp and how everything looks, and this looks so real, and the lighting, and I'm almost done with that day. You know what I mean? It's amazing. We're getting to where now indie developers are making them look amazing like that. These developers need to get the gameplay together and start pulling me through their experiences or their games, right? That's my take on it anyway.
Well, I certainly agree with your sentiments in most cases. I do think that this studio and this game is in rarefied air in terms of production value, and I do think that it's going to remain the biggest selling point for this game is the storytelling and the production, and basically everything we said about Ionia times 10 for this, because there is no jank, right? This just works, and I think and while it might not be your thing, and that's cool, not everybody has the same taste. I'm all for uh, being told a story in VR, and that just being it. Just being told the story to the best degree that it could possibly be done. That's enough for me when we're talking about it being on this level, which is way above anything else in those terms. So I get why you're not buying it. Uh, for me, again, I will get this at some point. There's so much right now. Like there's all the stuff coming out on Quest. Um, I mean, after the fall's coming, there's still so many other games that are coming. I can be told this story anytime, right? It's going to be the same story in 6 months as it is right now. Uh, this is probably a Christmas present for me or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I don't think graphically it's going to be, it can't, like you said, it can't get too much better than it already was. So, will it be better? I think it'll be better, but I think it's going to be the story that's going to make it, what it
Right.
is. And I think they've been working a long time on this story because, again, it was already beautiful. So it's not like they had to reinvent the wheel here with this game. They're going to come out with basically pretty much the same mechanics probably as you had last time, but I think the gameplay and the story is going to be better. And they've had a long time to get this right. So I think they will. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm definitely going to play it because I do want to see the continuation. And any game that will pull Derail out of New World, I want to play
For
because
a
that
day. He said for one day.
for a day. But when he says he'll pull him off flat to get into VR, that's something special.
You
True.
know, what we really need is a contact at Oculus so that we can request review copies. Like it's like the friggin' it's like a unicorn to find an Oculus contact
Mm.
in this industry. It's almost like they need to create a role,
Ambassadors.
a mediator between the content creator community and the game studio. You're right, like an ambassador, Roots.
Well, we
Oh,
know a
wait a
couple
minute.
ambassadors. Yeah,
Wait a
maybe.
minute.
Yeah, maybe they could put a good word in. And just if you're going to put a good word in for us, PD or GT or anybody that we appreciate you doing, just completely clip out my segment of what I said, at least for the lone echo side.
I don't need a good word. What I do need is an email address. That's
Yeah,
all I need.
that's true.
I just need to know who to talk to, man. These people are good at hiding, and it's like been the one thing that has eluded me throughout the years is a solid contact at Oculus Studios.
What I'm hearing from them, Wes, is don't call us, we'll call you.
Right. No, I think this game is a shoe in next time I get a 30% off code.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a perfect one for $40 for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of Derail, he just logged into New World. You're making me jealous, Derail.
So really, there's only one thing left to ask. We expected to get word of all of these types of things at Oculus Connect. They're announcing it all a month before Oculus Connect, and there are other Quest-related announcements that are coming between now and then that I know of with regards to software. So are they basically getting all the software stuff out of the way so that they can focus on hardware during this event? Or is this just the tip of the iceberg with regards to software from then? Because I saw something the other day that was very interesting on this to this effect, and I don't know if you guys noticed it or not. So I'd like to know each of your take. I guess we'll start with you, Eric. Is this show going to be hardware centric only, or are they just getting the old news out of the way so that they can make way for the new news.
So I do think you're going to see hardware news. In my opinion, I think we're going to definitely see hardware news. Whether that means release of day of, or if that means pre-order of day of, or if that means we just tell you when it's coming or what's coming. I think something is you're going to hear that, and I do think you're going to hear some games as well. So I think it's going to be both. I think they have everybody believing right now that's going to be hardware only, and I think you guys are going to be surprised.
Mm.
Roots, what do you think?
I think I'd have to agree with Eric. I think we'll probably get a little bit of both. It's weird because they're definitely saving up for something because Lone Echo 2 has been on the shelf. People have been waiting for this thing forever. This would have been a perfect thing to announce at Connect, right? So I guess it's coming out before. We thought it was December. So I don't know, man. It's like they're pushed, like you said, they're pushing it all out for something. So I would be surprised if we don't hear something hard or software wise on top of hardware for sure.
Well, initially, when these started dropping this stuff, my thoughts were that they were going to take a lesser look at software. I didn't think that they were going to abandon it altogether. I thought we might get a quick peek at those two new Ubisoft titles, and maybe they might announce one more game, and then that'd be it. But I noticed something recently when I was looking over this survey that Gamertag VR shared with the community the other day, and I get these surveys all the time. I never answered them. I didn't think that there ever would be anything cool in them, but this survey has to do with new hardware, and it's asking what the user's thought would be on X hardware product, this headset versus this headset. And I noticed in the description for both of these potential hypothetical headsets that there's this one line, and let me see if I can put my finger on. Okay, here it is. It says, and one of the features of this hypothetical headset is, quote, access to more than 400 VR games and experiences with, and pay attention here, with 10 feature titles from top gaming franchises and new immersive ways to play with others and be together. So 10 feature titles from top gaming franchises. And um, for context here, all of the other features that are in these hypothetical headsets are features that have been leaked about the upcoming Oculus headsets. So we know that there's some truth, most likely, in the things that they're listing in the survey. So we got Resident Evil, that's one. We've got Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed, that's 2 and 3. 10 top gaming franchises minus 3. Eric, I'm not the best at math, but I think that leaves 7 more, doesn't it?
It sure does. Sure does. Gonna be fun.
Now, Roots, am I just a fool, or is that something to be extremely excited about?
No, not a fool at all. I mean, we all know that there's titles out there. Rockstar's working on a title. Well, you said like you said, that's PlayStation, but we've Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed. We've got all these titles floating out there that it's been a couple years now, right? And then ones that we don't even know about. And you nailed it earlier. Like the profile for VR is getting more and more pronounced. You can't ignore it. These developers can't ignore it. And I assume that they've already been feeling this way for a while. So who knows what the hell could be coming out?
What's Sanzara doing? What's Sanzara doing? That's what I want to know.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's quite a few companies or developers that Oculus has picked up that we really haven't heard shit about going on since they've picked them up, right? And that's one of them.
Yeah, and we already know that Sanzaru has experience working on other people's IPs, as they did Marvel Powers United VR, which
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't have taken much to make that into the most amazing game ever. It's all about the way they structured that game is what made it not reach its full potential. But from a production standpoint, that game looks and plays amazing. So I can't wait to see what Sanzaru is able to do with the Quest hardware, and I can't wait to find out what these other 7 franchises are. I think that this Oculus Connect that's coming up could be one to remember.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely one you don't want to miss. This is one that I might actually watch, Wes, and I'm one of those people that I figure, like you said, nothing's going to change from the time that it goes live to an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours from now, or when I'm talking to people in Discord about it. So I usually don't care about watching it live, but this one I might.
I always watch the keynote live, or at least as much of it as I can. Typically, I think this is going to be the first year that I'm actually going to be home for the whole thing, like the whole keynote. Like before, I was working on a different shift,
Mm.
so I would have to watch part of it. I remember literally ordering my Oculus Quest 2 and then having to leave for work immediately thereafter.
Oh, wow.
That's not going to be the case this time, so it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there, man. I'll be there all day. I'll be live from Disney World that night.
You want to watch it in venues?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
they still need to get their shit together with venues and give us 3D because it is still on a flat, a flat screen on the stage. But it still would be cool to hang out in the space with you and some of the peeps and take in the near future of VR.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I'll do it.
All right. So we're moving out of kind of the hardware speculation. We're moving out of the heavy Oculus news now and just getting into the normal headlines. So we're going to pick up the pace here a little bit. Song in the Smoke hits Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, and PSVR this week. Again, just more of the same. Game after game, announcement after announcement. Again, another game highly anticipated. We knew it was coming, but for some reason, man, these games all want to launch now. Interesting timing. Yes, Roots?
Yeah. Yeah. Why is everything trying to rush out now? Like you said, usually you're looking for a specific window that's not going to be going up against everybody else. You got all these big games coming out, and it's weird that it's coming out right now. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see if it's as good as everybody thinks. I haven't yet to go into it, but we'll be going in soon.
You think, Eric, you think that maybe all of these developers are trying to get people's software dollars before the hardware goes up for pre-order at the end of the month?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you guys ever remember a time like this where you have, I mean, these next, like, even from September, even some parts of August, these next 3 or these past, this 4-month period is just, I don't remember a time in VR where it's been this crazy with hardware speculation and games and, you have 3 or 4 high, you know, uh, quality and high, profile games dropping per week, not per month, per week. It's crazy. It's tough to keep up with.
Wait till we get to the out this week part of the show today. Well, I got 5 friggin' titles in there, and none of them are like half-ass crappy titles. Like we got 5 bangers coming out this week across all platforms, and it's going to continue through October like this. It's like I don't know. I don't know why these guys think that it's okay to do it. Like we can't buy all of it.
No.
Not now, not like this. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, when people were hungry for games and there wasn't a whole lot in the library, maybe, but I mean, people can't be dropping $150 a week on games.
Meow Meow, the Gamer Cat, has been making some good points. Puzzle Bobble is part of a franchise. Five Nights at Freddy's, Angry Birds. So we could be overlooking some of these things now. I'm not saying all 7
Eh,
of those are, but there could be some things that they consider a franchise out there.
a top franchise. They said like top
Angry
franchise.
Birds is top, dude, on my list anyway.
I don't know, man. I don't think that that's what they're talking about. I don't think they're talking about these marginal mid-range titles like that. I think they're talking about big AAA, well-known IPs.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But they could
what
be.
a
I
way,
mean, they could be.
but what a way to launch new hardware without with a handful or 6, 7 banger of games. High level, high anticipation games that you can announce for 2022, right?
Yeah, Yeah, man. What a way to hype people up on buying new hardware.
Yeah.
Like even if like we need to be clear about that. Even if Facebook does, announce this headset like we think they're going to, um, this is all XR2. It's all the same resolution screens. Like you don't have to buy this headset to play these games.
Right.
Like these games will all be playable on Quest 2. Now I do think a year down the road, 18 months, we're going to get to that point where if you want the best version of the games, you're going to need to you're going to need to have that eye tracking and that foveated rendering. You're going to need to have the unlocked CPU with the extra cooling to really experience these titles to the fullest. I think Medal of Honor probably already is a title that's going to make benefit of things like that. But you don't have to. I think that Quest 2, um, even if they launch this new headset at the end of the month on the shelves, like that day, I still think a year from now, 18 months from now, Quest 2 is still a viable headset.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Quest 1 is bye bye.
Yeah, it's already
Oh,
been
Quest
bye-bye.
1's dead. It's dead right now. Like
Yeah.
it's done, man. It's for with the launch of Resident Evil 4 and Medal of Honor, Quest 1 is officially dead. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't, you'd have to convince me to buy one for $100 right now. Like I'm not looking to get a Quest 1 right now. Like 6 months ago, I would have picked it up. Now I'm not interested at all.
Nope.
It does have a nice OLED screen for PC gaming. It does still have value in that one way,
Yeah,
but
don't throw it out if you have one and that's all you got, but definitely
Yeah.
should be upgraded. You should have upgraded when Wes did. Wes did the right thing, what Eric's doing with the index and, reading the tea leaves and jumping ahead of the cart instead of getting stuck behind it.
Yeah.
Daniel Cass says Roblox. Yeah, I guess Roblox is kind of big with kids. Minecraft maybe that seems a little bit more likely to me as something that they would refer to in this kind of light. I don't think Roblox is like this big IP that they're going to pump their you know try to hype their hardware with. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, speaking of IPs that everybody recognizes, right? Isn't Jurassic Park World Aftermath coming out with a sequel?
It is indeed. It's available now on Oculus Quest, and it's interesting, Roots, because the original one. I mean, this isn't really a sequel as a true part two. Like the story stopped abruptly. The second game picks up in the exact same scene that the first one left off in. Like this is literally the second half of that original game, and you got to go drop another $15 if you want to play it.
Hmm. Well, considering I bought the first one and I haven't played it, I don't know if I'll be picking this one up. I've heard good things about it, but the only thing that I really grabs me about this game is the IP, Jurassic World, the music.
Right.
Other than that, I'm not big on stealth games, and if it's the same as the first, um, I don't know. It kind of sucks that we kind of felt this was going to happen, right? They put out the
Yeah.
first one, and we were going to get charged another $15 for the other half of the first experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, that's really what you're paying for here is to be able to experience a Jurassic Park story from the inside. Um, the gameplay's fine, and I really do enjoy the game. Like I have the first one, I enjoy it, and I'll probably pick this one up. But that, Eric, doesn't mean that I need to be happy about this pricing structure. Um, if it were more content, if it were like a highly, if you could tell they put a lot into the production, then it would be a different story here. But I feel like they're making a pretty standard game, uh, albeit good storytelling. Um, and I think that I think it's kind of a money grab here, the way that they structured it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like these two games kind of went hand in hand. This and Star Wars: Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, both games that were, fairly good games, but they were short. And right off the bat, they were like, more DLC is coming right away. They announced the DLC right almost with the launch. So they said, yeah, more's coming, paid DLC right off the bat. So this is why this game, kind of pissed people off a little bit because I guess I didn't play it, to be honest with you, but I guess from what I heard, it was extremely short. And you knew right off the bat that you were not getting a complete game. You were getting, a part of a game that you were going to have to pay another $15 for. I mean, at least the Star Wars DLC was only $9.
Well, the
Um,
thing with the Star Wars game, not only is there more gameplay there, but it's extremely more depth to the gameplay. The Star Wars, there's a lot more going on with it. Whereas this Jurassic World Aftermath is mostly fetch quest, stealth gameplay. It's basically you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. Now it is challenging and it is fun, but you get a lot more out of a title like Galaxy's Edge than you get out of Jurassic World Aftermath. I think that Galaxy's Edge is in a completely different tier in terms of quality.
Agreed.
yeah,
Daniel Kaz has a good point. He says they could do, this is exactly my problem with it. They could do so much better with Jurassic franchise than these duck and hide games, in his opinion. And I agree. And it's not that it's not a cool experience. Like Wes said, you're in the Jurassic Park world, but it's like, it's not what I want. I don't want that's almost like a tech demo type of thing, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, like there's flat games out there that are catered towards stealth things, and that's just not my thing. So the 100%, if you love stealth thing, maybe this is your deal. I just feel like they could have done a lot better, and especially since they're charging another $15. I agree with Eric. $9, $10 for Star Wars, which what Wes said is 100% true. Is hands down better gameplay wise. It's just got so much more depth and nostalgia, really. Like you're going in, you're seeing the Millennium Falcon out there flying in, and just little bits and pieces that makes that thing a gem, right? So
Yeah, and I could totally see Star Wars being one of those franchises that they were pumping out during that survey.
yeah,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and just to be clear, I finished Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy's Edge. I love that game. So yeah, I wasn't saying that it was like this. I'm just saying this is what people compared these two games together, just because they kind of released at the same time and they were a little bit shorter.
it's the
But
pricing
yeah, I mean,
structure. It's the way that they're rolling them out are exactly identical, and it's what
yeah,
people don't like. Just give me the fucking game. You want to give me a sequel? You want to give me
right.
DLC down the road? The only thing that they have that they did that I think was good on both parts is they both were up front when they came out and said, "Look, there's more coming. It's going to be more money." There was no doubt that it was going to be free. So nobody was hoodwinked in that respect at all, right? So
Right.
Mepper asks, will Song of the Smoke ever come to Steam or Epic? Maybe after a year, having PC support only through the Rift is very limiting for PC sales. I could see it happening. Totally could see that happening. In fact, I would expect it to happen. I would not, however, expect it to be a different game. I think it'll be a straight port if it comes to PC. And we're going to talk more about that, obviously, later in the week. Our hands are kind of tied right now. I have been playing this game, and I can't wait to talk about it.
cool.
Yeah, same here.
Headline: play through the beautiful Quixote Valley in Walkabout Mini Golf today. So the hits just keep on coming from these guys, right? Not only do they give us a beautiful new map here, Eric, but they're also giving us new wind mechanics. It's
Hmm.
cool that they're not only continuing to add more content to this game, but change it on a fundamental level with regards to the physics. I think that that's commendable.
Yeah, I mean this is amazing. This is to me is it's probably the most it's probably the most beautiful course that they have out there for sure. And the wind physics change everything in this game. It makes it or this course, it makes it completely different with the way they do it, and the way they place these windmills all over the map. It's really cool. So much so that I don't think they have a hard mode in this one. All the other ones have a hard mode, and I did not see a hard mode in this one.
This is the hard
Um,
mode.
yeah, it is. It's right off the bat the hard mode because of the wind. So there's so that and every other course has a hard mode except for this one. So yeah, it's very cool. I love it.
This game was already
So
a no-brainer, right? Like it's what, $15, and it already had so many courses, and you can play with how many people can you play with, and now they just keep adding course after course, and that's what these type of games you want, right? You want something new, something fresh, some cool courses, and now there's so much to it, man. I don't see how anybody doesn't own this game.
Yeah, $15. It's I think got 8 courses now. It's got obviously the multiplayer, but it's also crossplay with PC. Like you can play in Steam, some can play with
Nice.
Quest players.
Mm.
I mean, this is one of the biggest no-brainers uh, going right now. So like, don't wait for a sale. Go buy this game now if you like hanging out with your friends.
Well, Spry Guy is in the beta, and he's been playing. He says there's a hard course coming soon. So I'm kind of excited about that as well. So they're working on more courses, Wes. They're just still bringing them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would go get this one now because I could see this going down the same road as some of the other games where all of a sudden, you get all this DLC for free, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yep, we're going to give you this next course for free, but if you don't buy it by such and such a date, the base game's going up in price,
And
just like
that's
Pistol Whip or
100% fair. And I would say
absolutely."
the developer should do that, at some
Yeah.
point.
I agree.
Yeah. If they went to $25 tomorrow, would anybody be mad at them?
The people
Nope.
that waited till the day after, but I
Yeah,
definitely
right.
don't wait. If like this is it's not only the courses, the physics in this game, it really feels like miniature golf. It's the best one I've played. So
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking to frequent updates, Larcenauts reveals a Ranger class and a new map in the latest update. Roots, didn't we just get a Larcenauts update with a new character class and a new map?
we did, and you know what's crazy about this? Somebody just did. I think it was Gamertag, or I know people have been playing this recently, and I saw it was a title. I didn't watch the video, but they were saying how this game is now shaping up to be the game we wanted it to be. How ironic is it that we're now getting ready to go into it finally, and play it for I think our timing is impeccable, and I can't wait to get in there with you guys.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Eric, wouldn't it be such a coup if this game, after the kind of launch that it had, which wasn't terrible, it was lukewarm, we'll call it. I think this game is making strides towards putting itself in the game of the year discussion.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
wouldn't it be something?
Yeah, I mean, they could have abandoned this title so easy, right? They could have been like, okay, here it is. It didn't go over great, but here's our game. But they continued. I mean, they had a patch out like the first couple of days. Remember where everybody was so mad about the running mechanics and the loading mechanics. Everybody was so upset, and they could have just been, okay, here's what it is. It's our game. This one didn't work. Let's move on to the next one because they're a big enough studio. They could do that, right? They could just say, okay, that's what it is. We'll move on. We'll do better the next time, but they're not giving up on this game. They're patching upon patch upon patch. These are not just adding stuff either. They're still fixing stuff to make it better, to make it better. And not like anything's even broken anymore. This is the game that it should have been when it launched. So everything is perfect in this game now, and I cannot wait to get in there with you guys. We are gonna have so much fun in there.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Tasselhoff, with the Mr. Tass
Hell yeah.
gunstock.
Yep. This is going to be the first in a series of games in the coming weeks that we evaluate game stocks in, gun stocks rather. So we'll be hitting up Larcenauts. We'll be hitting up Alvo, although that one uh, we'll limit our comments to just the gun stock and not the game, as that's a beta on Quest right now. We'll do some contractors probably, and
Pop one, maybe.
for sure pop one.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe some
I
zero caliber with the new reloaded there.
absolutely zero caliber. Like pop one's probably at the top of my list. What I want to get back into. But zero caliber is fun as well. We can all play zero caliber.
All
We
of
can
them.
all play most of these games. Yeah.
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 So it's good times ahead. And for those of you who are interested in a well priced mini stock for your Oculus Quest 2, these guys love it already. But we have some in depth coverage coming on almost a weekly basis over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So again, hit the bell and the button if you haven't already, and hit up our friend Mr. Taz on the Discord if you're interested in picking one of these up. It's just like $35 for the stock by itself and $60 for the entire package. I mean, it's an amazing deal.
Yep. Side question for you, Wes. And think I already know the sad answer. Farpoint is only 2 people co-op, right? There's no 3 people.
Yes. Farpoint is only 2 people.
Damn.
Yeah. So
It's crazy.
Eric, have you finished that story campaign yet?
Oh yeah, I finished. I played through 95% of that game in one sitting. The first time I jumped in, I started at like 7 p.m. and I played it until like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't stop. I've never been in the headset that long without breaking. That game sucked me in, and I finished the next night with a like. I didn't realize I was even that close to the end. I just kind of ended. I was so tired, but I was like so close to the end. So yeah, I finished it the next day. That's still one of my top experiences in VR. That game.
That's why we really, really wanted another story-based adventure from them, right, Wes?
You know,
Even if it wasn't a sequel
Yeah.
to that one, because I don't know how they would make a sequel to that story the way it ended.
Yeah, Larcenauts is one of those games that it's difficult for me to give it an unbiased review because I'm such a fan of Farpoint, and I can't lie about how disappointed I was when this game was announced. Not that the game doesn't look amazing, but they knowingly made a game for an audience that wasn't their audience they already had. Like they completely went against their fan base, passionate fan base, and made something for players that aren't in their ecosystem while we're left out here on the branch waiting for more, story-based sci-fi games from them.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah, I
good.
mean it was disappointing, but I'm over it enough that I can maybe enjoy this game now.
Farpoint announced for the Quest, Oculus Quest, Facebook Connect.
Yep,
Farpoint.
there it comes, and an aim
Uh,
controller.
Oh yeah, there you go.
PD in the chat pumping up the free games on Amazon Prime this month. It was our free stuff of the week on Free Stuff and Killer Deals last night. PD, um, yeah, amazing games for free on Amazon Prime
Yeah,
right now.
and if you're getting those games for free, that means you have Amazon Prime. That means you could come over to Roots' Twitch and throw Roots a subscription, and then you'll know when I'm going live all the time with Mash or Wes or whoever. So
Wolveraza in the chat. He wants to play Pop One. He wants to play Larcenauts with us. So I just say watch the Discord, but I wouldn't rush too quickly to get in a game with me because I'm not very experienced, and you're gonna have to carry me. So
please, we're talking about Wolvie, bro. He's gonna carry you and everybody else on the team.
Yeah, he carry all of us.
Yeah.
Eye on the Icon nailed it. Larcenauts story mode. That's what should have happened. Like this game should have been a story based game with multiplayer, like Medal of Honor. Then everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not such a gamble, right? This is a huge gamble for their studio. If this doesn't work, I mean, they just wasted all those resources. If it does work, then this is a potential source of income for years to come for them.
Right.
So they have a lot riding on this game succeeding. So I mean, they could have mitigated some of that by sticking to what got them to the dance.
Now, Wolveraza says he has good and bad days. So what I read was your bad days are your good days, or bad days are like my good days, and your good days are like my great days.
Headline: Ironman VR developer Camouflage hiring for a new AAA title, and I think this is interesting, but because it's part of a larger trend, right? We see these studios like Camouflage, like the Persistence developer Firesprite. We see First Contact Entertainment. All of the sudden, everyone is describing their next game as AAA. These are PlayStation games, aren't they?
I think so. I think they're PlayStation games, and I think you were right, Wes. I didn't realize until I played it, and there may be some, PSVR game cats out there might disagree, but I'm blown away by Iron Man, and just from what I played so far, the movement, the production, even the story that I was knocking in the first 5 minutes that I walked in there, as it's starting to progress, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like I put away the AI guy, had to bring him back out. I'm really enjoying it, and I think it is hands down the best superhero game we have out there. So what does that mean? Maybe we've got another amazing AAA superhero game coming out soon. And I guarantee, almost guarantee, it's going to be on PlayStation VR.
I mean, how amazing does that game feel when you're in midair taking on all of these multiple groups of enemies? I mean, it is kind of wave shootery, but it's so different from your typical wave shooter that it's a unique experience and it's very fun.
Well, the movement in there, like you're it may be wave shootery, but you're free. Like when you're flying around, when I'm chasing that plane, you know what I mean, and I'm having to duck around and hit these drones that are coming out and do everything that I was doing. It was really cool. It was felt like Stormland almost as far as movement. It's the best game that I've felt movement wise on the PlayStation VR, and it looked beautiful. It ran amazing. I am assuming the cutscenes that were, I mean, not the cutscenes, the load screens, were not that obnoxious. You know, maybe 30 seconds, but I would imagine on the old hardware it was a nightmare. But
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the game. So when I see camouflage, when I saw Iron Man camouflage hiring AAA, it got my attention for sure.
Yep. Yeah. I look forward to finding out what this is, and I 100% expect it to be a PlayStation game. I think that is the genesis of all of these job descriptions coming out now from formerly mid-tier studios. Now all of a sudden hiring for AAA games. I think they're making PlayStation games. Eric, what about you?
Yeah, and this was a bundle game too. They bundled new PSVR headsets with this game, and it was a system seller for
Still
them
is.
again.
That's the only bundle out there.
Yeah, at a time when getting people to buy PSVR was extremely difficult because it was like bone dry for so long, and then they pop out this huge game, and then they're putting it in the box with PlayStation VR again. So, I could see it being another bundle. They could go. I mean, they've already done a Marvel game here. Why couldn't you see another Marvel game with the bundle with release of PlayStation VR too?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be the case. Yeah, I mean, it's likely even. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, I mean, when you think about some of the things these guys accomplished on the old hardware, imagine what they could do with a real console and a real next gen headset.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're both coming together. Everything's converging with what we want. Everything we've been saying for the last 6 months that seemed like it was kind of controversial at the time for some reason. That the cord is going to be, we're gonna be glad Sony hung on to that tether, because I don't think we're having the same discussion if they're going 100% wireless at this time.
Right.
Down the road,
Right.
maybe, but
Yeah, I agree.
The last headline of the week: one of VR's leading developers opens publishing arm aimed at small VR teams. So I wanted to, you know, highlight this because we often talk about these studios such as Vertigo Games, such as Archiact, leveling up, bringing their studio to a different tier in the VR ecosystem by becoming publishers for smaller studios, in addition to the studios or the games that they develop in house as well. Uh, we've mentioned it many times frequently that friends of the channel, Fast Travel Games, are making huge strides towards hitting that next level for a VR studio. And I think that this headline here basically signifies that they have indeed done just that. And our friends at Fast Travel are they're in rare air with regards to VR studios in the world now. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to congratulate them on their continued success in the space. And I can't wait to working with them more in the future to spread the word on now, you know, some of the lesser known studios in VR. So kind of a win-win for everybody. Be you a small studio, a VR gamer. This is just bringing good games to the gamers, and I couldn't be happier.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Fast Travel's quickly becoming one of the big names within virtual reality, right? I mean, they're going to be a studio that you're going to look to for the future for
Uh,
making these amazing games.
I don't think it'll be very long at all before you hear about their AAA game,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
exactly.
Yeah, I think that they've probably already got a PlayStation 5 game in the works um, for launch next year. Anyway, that's going to wrap up headlines and bring us into the featured stories of the week. Speaking of friends of the channel, Fast Travel Games, well known, one of our top studios in terms of support for our channel. But this past year, our relationship has grown immensely with our friends at Bloober Team. And during the Tokyo Game Show this past week, Bloober Team released a teaser trailer for a new, as of yet titled project in the Layers of Fear franchise coming in 2022, and they will be building it in Unreal Engine 5, which is exciting. So, the trailer, which was released this past Friday, features a familiar sounding painter and an unsettling chorus of voices filling his head, creating a short but intense psychological experience. Although nothing is confirmed at this point, the trailer seems to point to a direct sequel to the series' popular original entry, or perhaps even a next gen remake of that very game. The studio took to Twitter to share the trailer, implying that there are clues hidden within as to the nature and scope of this yet to be titled project. The developer was also keen to point out that the trailer was made in Unreal Engine 5, which indicates that the game will also be made in Unreal Engine 5. Uh, a subsequent press release states that this is not the only project that is in the works for this Poland based studio, as two more, get this, unannounced AAA projects are also in the works. And this just seems to give further confirmation to the long standing rumor that Bloober Team has been working on a title that takes place within the Silent Hill universe. Anyway, to stay up to date with all of the latest info and releases from Bloober Team, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. So, Roots, we see it here again. Unannounced AAA projects, a Layers of Fear game in Unreal Engine 5. I mean, that in and of itself is going to be insanity, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And what's crazy is how good. Now, granted, this is we're watching this flat, but the hands, like the detail. As I was watching this video, of course, I perked up when I heard Unreal Engine 5 because I don't know that we've seen any examples of VR yet. I just can't wait to see what they can do with this. I mean, I was already blown away with the other one that they did, so I think it's gonna be good.
But to be clear, this game has not been confirmed for VR yet.
Mm,
But with that said, many of their older titles have been ported into VR. So even if this game launches without VR support, uh, Eric, I'd point out that they are, touting their AAA projects, and we just outed that as a code word for PS5 VR.
Hmm.
So if this game is a PS5 VR game, and with their history of VR ports, I mean, it's kind of a 2 + 2 = 4 scenario, right? This game highly likely to be a PlayStation VR game.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, and I'm so excited for what those other two projects are. I mean, I can't. I mean, I hope this is definitely in VR, this game here, but the other two projects, man, I'm telling you, I'm so excited.
Well, we've heard for a long time now that there are two Silent Hill games being developed, and one of them from a prominent Japanese studio, which we talked about at the top of the show, Gamatsu, now pointing to Kojima Productions for that one. The other one, widely recognized at this point to be coming from Bloober Team, and um, while I know not everyone is a fan of Bloober Team and their style of storytelling, I for one am. And if they've got Sony funding behind them and are working in Unreal Engine 5 and next gen gaming engines, I mean, this game's going to be terrifying, isn't it? Or not just this game, these games.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
This is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I agreed. Eric, do you put any stock into these Silent Hill rumors? Like, do you think it's overkill to be working on two different Silent Hill games concurrently?
I mean, no, definitely not. I mean, everybody wants this. I mean, there's so much out there. If you look at threads for Silent Hill or Abandoned or any of these things, there's so much people still talking about it, even after the non-story that it was abandoned. So I mean, it's amazing the amount of things out there. People want this stuff. So I mean, it makes perfect sense for them to be doing something like this and run it and make a whole universe of this. Make three of them. Who cares? I want to see more of it. I don't care how many you got.
Mepper in the chat says Unreal Engine 5 isn't going to be released until next spring. They already have said that some advanced features in UE5 wouldn't be supported in VR. It seems it would be hard to do lots of development right now. Well, for the record, they're still in the early preliminary stages of development on this Layers of Fear game. Now, these other two games, I suspect, are much further along in development. Um, but with regards to this Layers of Fear game, they're pretty much just starting on this thing now. So they say it's coming next year. I think if we see it next year, it'll be late next year. But Roots, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this thing in 2023.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think they said current VR too, so that doesn't preclude what's coming.
Right. Right. These other two games, these are not Unreal Engine 5 games, right? These are games they've been working on for at least a year at this point.
Right.
Stuff we're going to learn about pretty soon, especially I think this Silent Hill title. I think it's kind of the worst kept secret in gaming right now. Everyone knows that Bloober Team is working on a Silent Hill game, and I have asked them directly about that, and they couldn't obviously confirm it, but they certainly didn't deny it, and they seem to be playing coy with me a little bit when I asked it. So I'm fairly certain that we are going to see a Silent Hill game from them. I'm just curious what this third title might be. Like, is it going to be something from their catalog? Is it going to be another Observer game, maybe another Medium game, or is it going to be something like Silent Hill that's from the larger gaming ecosystem?
Yeah, good question.
Anyway, the spooks just keep right on coming as Halloween is upon us, and who does not love a good haunted house or a haunted train? Let's say. Media Molecule has announced their annual Halloween celebration, which will feature the Ghost Train, which is a series of user created horror and spooky themed cars, which will be available to all users of Dreams, get this, including those who only have the free trial version. Choose your path across the Ghost Train's many rails, shoot targets to set high scores, and enjoy scares galore. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, the entire thing will be playable in your PlayStation VR headset. This collection of haunted train cars has been in the works for weeks at this point and will be open to the public starting on October 15th, running through November 1st. In addition to the main attraction, you can also explore a pumpkin patch full of user created jack o' lanterns and scarecrows, and you can explore the Halloween themed hub world to uncover various rewards. In addition to all of this, there's also a Halloween community jam, which showcases many horror and spooky themed dreams for you to check out. Sounds like a party to me. Again, All Hallows Dreams Ghost Train runs from October 15th through November 1st for all Dreams users. Eric, amazing. Typically we don't see these kind of events from Media Molecule in Dreams, but they always seem to want to celebrate Halloween like us horror enthusiasts. But absolutely amazing that this whole thing not only playable in VR, but playable for free. Anybody can pick up this trial and play this uh, for no money at all. Incredible, right?
Yeah, I mean free, and if you want to go get the whole thing, it's $9. and look, and you get this content and then all the other stuff that's in there. The dreams is like it's like a gift that just keeps on giving, man. It's just they come out with stuff all the time. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I haven't been in there yet. I own the game because I bought it on sale. Haven't been in there yet. And guess what? I'm going in there for this because I can't wait. Now, my question for you, Wes, is have you been in the other Halloween stuff? Because this is not the first time they've done this, right?
No, they did it last year. No, I didn't. It's been actually over a year since I've been in Dreams at all. I have not experienced Dreams on my PlayStation 5 at all. And our friends at Without Parole keep saying, do it. Do it. Check it out in PS5. It's probably the one title that benefits the most from PlayStation 5 is Dreams. And
Yeah.
I can tell from watching their content that the level of experience that's now available in Dreams is 10 times what it was last time I was in there. Roots, what say you? You down for this spooky haunted house themed ghost train?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm looking for something to use in my dreams. I haven't gone into dreams yet, Eric, but in my defense, I just bought it yesterday. I haven't honed it for as long as you have.
I know,
Um,
right?
but PD was saying earlier in the chat that he's actually getting ready to start doing a lot of content of get stuff out of this on his channel. So check out Paradise Decay's channel for that very shortly. And I think it's going to be amazing. It's one of the reasons why I'm glad I finally picked it up. I got the PlayStation 5. I got the VR now, and there's so many different experiences to check out. And this is a timed exclusive, right? 2 weeks you get,
Few
just like
weeks. Yep.
just like everything else that is Halloween based, right? Like most people aren't looking to play Halloween games in December. It's usually something like this. So yeah, we're a couple weeks away, or not even a couple weeks, I guess. Was it 12 days away? Checking it out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 12 days. You nailed it. PD in the chat says, I agree with them. I've had no issues with VR games in Dreams on PS5, unlike on my PS4, where a lot of the games in VR would crash. So there you go, straight from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
PS5, a big deal for Dreams.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to do a deep dive in there and just go and check out all this content.
You'll never see the end of it, man. Even a year ago, it was endless content for days. A lot of it, not so great, but a lot of it was. A lot of it was cool stuff. People are talented, and at this point, there are projects in there that people have put years into. I mean, there's legit games that I mean, if it would support it, they could sell for money. Like people would buy
Yeah.
some of these experiences.
Yeah, I mean, for what from what PSVR Without Pearl, Brian and AJ saying, there's games in there that are better than some of the PlayStation games that are on the store. So there's some amazing content in there. I really can't wait to jump into it. And I'm definitely doing this.
It was a great
Yeah,
showcase for developers that are, how many of these little games that they've made are going to end up leading to a career with the big studio, right? Kind of like Source did for a lot of games as well for PC VR. So I think this game is finally getting to or where it should have been. Like when we first talked about it, Wes, when we first were doing the channel and we were thinking this was a dream. We didn't know if they could pull it off, and they sure couldn't do what they wanted to do on the old hardware, but they're now finally able to do. Their game is now being able to fully be realized, right? And so cool.
yeah. So you know, I've um, I've been pumping it up for months at this point that we're going to be streaming a lot of horror games during October, and I want to do stuff that's different, stuff that not everyone's doing. I can tell you right now that at least one of my streams this month will be a dreams dive. We'll call it nightmares, if you will, and
Mhm.
we'll go in and we'll check out as many of these horror themed dreams as we possibly can.
PD says we need to check out Museum of Other Realities in Dreams. It's amazing.
Hmm.
I think
That's
you're getting your museums crossed up, PD. Museum of Other Realities is the PC museum. I know the museum that you're talking about in Dreams. There is an amazing museum in there, Roots, like a legitimate art museum. It isn't so digital based as like Museum of Other Realities is really all about 3D art. This art museum that's in Dreams is more like art, sculptures and paintings and things like
oh
that.
cool.
But it's like vast and it's very high quality, and people really raving about it.
Daniel Cass says Dreams on sale for $10, free PS5 upgrade. I don't think there's a difference. There's no real upgrade, but it definitely benefits from having the PS5 hardware behind it for sure.
Right. It's there isn't like a bespoke PS5 version of it, but it benefits greatly from the extra resources that you get from playing it on PS5.
Yep.
So, which I could be wrong about that. It might have a native PS5 mode. I don't know. I know that the VR though is only available in backward compatibility mode. Um, so I think that that's how Dreams pretty much runs in PS5.
Yeah.
Hack the Game Cat says House of Bavis is good, and the dude made a newer one too. Yeah, I'm going to ask for some of my Game Cats to give me a little guidance before I go in here, so I'm not just all trial and error, going through a bunch of garbage to find out the good parts. So you guys let me know. Let me know in the comments down below uh, which horror themed dreams, should I be checking out during my stream, and what we'll probably stream during this Halloween event so that we can check it out as well. And we'll start with that, and then we'll move into some horror themed dreams afterwards.
Cool.
Roots. Um, we've seen constant updates to Dream since it launched. I mean, it launched as a flat experience. It then became a VR experience. Then it went on to support leaderboards. And then it went on to support aim controller. I mean, you can make aim controller games in here now. The only thing that's really missing is multiplayer. Dreams does not yet support multiplayer, and I think that it's highly unfortunate because when you talk about things like this Halloween festival or the museum that Paradise Decay is talking about, um, I mean, the best way to experience it would be with friends, right?
Yeah. Well, the next best thing, you could have your wife stand next to you and look at the TV. No, I definitely think they need to bring multiplayer because everything you said, I'm not going to go to a festival. I mean, most people anyway, by themselves. They're going to go to a museum with somebody. It would be cool to go check out this ghost train with a couple people. And can't imagine it's not something that's on their radar. So
Yeah, they're working on it. It just hasn't dropped yet. Eric, highly unfortunate. Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot, a missed opportunity there, but I can see it coming for sure. And but I mean, could you imagine going in and doing this, doing these haunted houses with people? I mean, that would be a blast.
that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about what you do, going now and going to these haunted houses this time of year with your friends and hanging out and doing these things where you laugh your asses off and just get scared and it's cool. Yeah, I can just imagine in VR would be even better.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And you don't even have to worry about getting sick.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
PD in the chat says that the museum is called the Adilium in Dreams. So, for those of you interested, it's called the Adilium.
Check it out.
Don't ask me to spell it. Just read the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an idealium.
Pro tip: Art museum is cheap but good date. Yeah, I took my wife to the Museum of Other Realities, and she absolutely loved it. Had a blast. So, I highly recommend it.
For sure.
All right, moving on, Roots. I'm excited for this one because it's finally happened, Roots. We've asked for it, and we've asked for it, and we've asked for it, and finally, after 4 years of waiting, the VR community has finally decided to take matters into their own hands. Available now on Oculus Quest 2 headsets, Seeker VR is a Harry Potter VR game developed by fans for fans. You can navigate the sprawling grounds of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, chase the snitch across the Quidditch pitch, and cast spells with your trusty wand. As you explore, you unlock additional trophies and discover fascinating magical creatures. Seeker VR features over a kilometer of grounds to explore, including Hogwarts Castle, Hagrid's Shack, the Forbidden Forest, and the Black Lake. Using your touch controllers, you can take hold of your very own Nimbus 2000 flying broomstick and effortlessly soar throughout each of the aforementioned locations at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. You can even ditch the broomstick and physically climb each and every structure in the game. In addition to Hogwarts Castle, there's also an interactive Quidditch pitch where you can chase the golden snitch, shoot quaffles, and evade rogue bludgers. Uh, Roots, I mean, 20 times, 30 times. How many times have we publicly called for a Harry Potter VR game?
Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. One thing that I was hoping I was going to hear from you is that you could play multiplayer against each other in the Quidditch, but maybe that's somewhere down the road. But how cool is this? It's very elaborate. I'm curious if you can go in the castle and if that's like they've clearly gone to extreme detail to make this thing look really cool. Harry Potter like, right? Like everything seems to be to scale. And of course, I mean, maybe there's Harry Potter fans out there that would be like, dude, no, it's not. But I mean, it looks just like the real thing, right? So wouldn't it be cool if you could roam around inside?
Yeah, I think you can in certain areas. I don't think our castle is explorable, but there are areas that you can go into. Notably, this game was developed after various blueprints and things that are available, um, through libraries and digital resources to be as accurate as it possibly can and true to scale. Um, Before we say any more about it, I do want to go ahead and give VR Scout full credit for this article. I'm pretty much reading word for word from right here. It's not the whole article, but basically everything I'm saying is selected parts from an article on VR Scout. So go over there and check it out if you want the full story. But Eric, are you a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't notice it, but I am a huge Harry Potter fan from looking at me. But I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I've read all the books. I have watched all the movies, and yeah, I mean, I love it. And I just I can't believe we haven't had this already in VR. It's such a missed opportunity that we don't have it yet.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I, like you, have read all the books and watched all the movies. Absolutely love Harry Potter. I really hope that they one day re-release the movies in full 3D so that we can take them in. And I mean, you can already
Oh
watch
yeah,
um, Deathly Hollows, and I think the one right before it. The last three movies I think you can watch in 3D. I hope they redo all of them because that would be amazing. But regardless, this is kind of the been one of the big no brainers for VR. Like, give us a Harry Potter game. It makes so much sense on so many different levels. This would be a system seller if it were an official launch. But just looking at what's here, I mean, this came from a dude, one guy made this. So imagine what a team like a Warner Brothers game studio could do with this with a team of dudes. Imagine what 100 dudes can do if one dude did this.
Yeah, well, we're going to be seeing soon, at least on the flat version of the Hogwarts Legacy or whatever that new game coming out. And I
Mhm.
don't think we're that far away from, the VR is a completely new media outlet that is catching on, but hasn't 100% caught on. But once it does, every single IP movie, all the things that we've seen be brought into games, they're all every single one of them is going to come into VR as well. Like it's a no-brainer that they're going to make this into VR eventually. Something like this has a potential to maybe push it forward a little bit, because I guarantee the legal teams looked at it. If anything, they may have not
Yeah.
pulled the trigger to say, look, you need to pull it, but it's been looked at. And so at some point, maybe J.K. Rowling looks at it and it's like, dude, why do
Mhm.
we not have a fucking version of this? Look at how good this one guy has done. And it starts a ball rolling. But, and as far as a remake, would you guys want a remake of the whole series? Like they could start it over, like, and just put a 2021 spin on it. I could do it like Sherry Potter, like a female version.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no, 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 no.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
Um,
Never mind. Don't listen to Roots. That would be horrible.
Harry Potter is a little boy, Roots, and if he wasn't a little boy, then why would Dumbledore take such an interest in him?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he did take him under his
Ouch.
wing.
What does that mean?
You
Um,
decide.
I don't know. What time is it, by the way?
It's quote time.
It is indeed quote time. This is a quote from Team Eldritch, which is a one-man team. The one-man team who is behind Seeker VR. Quote, there's no joystick on a broom. So you have to physically point the handle where you want it to go. And for the record, Mr. Tasselhoff, my wife, wants you to make her a broomstick for her Quest controller so she can play this game.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
There's no joystick on a broom, so you have to physically point the handle where you want it to go, which is brilliant because it feels like you're really up there gripping this thing and making hairpin turns. But if we had a cable attached, players would get wrapped up in it very quickly. On Quest 2, you can pull off a 720-degree turn if you want to with complete freedom. It's awesome. Speed is a huge part of the game and is probably the thing people would associate most with the scenes in the movies. At the start of this project, I wasn't sure how far we'd be able to push it. But the hardware gets better every year, and our testers kept asking if they could go faster. So in the final build, you're pretty much only limited by how often you want a jet boost. That again, Team Eldritch, the guy behind Seeker VR. In order to avoid any backlash with Warner Brothers Studios, Team Eldritch has made Seeker VR available 100% free of charge on itch.io, and it's available now. So, my advice, ladies and gentlemen, if you think this looks as awesome as I do,
Now.
get it now. This is
Yep.
not going to be left on there forever.
No.
This is going to disappear one day, and then we're all going to be sharing it through Google Drive and Dropbox, like Unreal PT, for example. So yeah, get in on this thing now, guys. I can tell you that I 100% am going to be checking this out. This looks amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? It's so detailed, like everything, even that plants, Hagrid's whatever your greenhouse or whatever, man. I just think it's super cool and it's
Yeah.
free. Why not?
Yeah,
Even if it
I
was
jumped in before the show. I jumped in for about a half hour before the show just to check it out because I knew we were going to talk about it, and it's amazing. It really is.
even if it were just an empty map, just to explore how the just being in Hogwarts and on the grounds is amazing. I mean, the Whomping Willow is there, and I mean, so many things that you recognize from the books and movies. Um, it's great, and my hats off to this developer for making it a reality for free for all of us.
I'm kind of curious. Gaming science teacher said she loved the that one game, the Witch Academy for the broom flying. I wonder if this one
Yeah.
is better or comparable or worse. I'd be kind of curious to know from anybody that's played both.
Well, I can say that the cool thing about this is the complete freedom of it. Like, I'm
And
pretty
there's
sure Little Witch Academia puts you on tracks,
well,
while this,
this you're fast. Like they said, they just kept
Yeah.
pushing the speed. So
Yeah. Yeah, you actually have a boost button on here, so you can like get a speed boost that like flings you across the Quidditch field and it's super fast.
So then the multiplayer is a no-brainer, man. Like, because you imagine flying around here with your friends and zipping around, and that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's got to be coming because I mean, in this thing, when you're doing the Quidditch thing, you're not just chasing the snitch. You actually get one of the bats that you can use to hit the ball that always flies after you. You can actually do that in here and everything. So they have the mechanics of the entire game down, not just going and catching that little thing. They have the whole mechanics of the game down with hitting, with the bludgers and the quaffle. They have all of that there, so you can do it. So it's like the framework is all there. There is like a framework of an actual game here. Right now, it's mainly like a racing exploration type thing, but all the stuff is here for somebody, either him or hopefully maybe Warner Brothers to hire this guy, guys. Hire
yeah,
this
for
guy and have
sure.
him make the game because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Onakazi asks, "Can you go visit Aragog?" I don't know if Aragog is in the game or not, but you can go into the Forbidden Forest. So
Mhm.
possibly. Who
That'd be
knows?
cool.
Yeah, I mean, just in a half hour, I found probably like 4 little different things, and once you find something, it actually goes. You start in like a Quidditch locker room, and it's empty of stuff, and then as you find stuff out in the environment, all of a sudden it shows up in that locker room. So like
Mm.
the little pink cake that Hagrid made Harry Potter in the first movie and gave to him. I found it out there near his cabin, and all of a sudden it appeared in the thing. So it's cool stuff to find in here too.
Yeah, sounds like some awesome fan service from an awesome fan. Hopefully, this one isn't finished and it continues to evolve into something spectacular.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
All right, we move on to our fourth and final topic in this week's featured articles. This one from VR Focus. The past couple of years has been an amazing time for VR gaming as VR developers have continued to redefine genres by utilizing the unique feature set that the tech provides. However, as much as we enjoy new and truly unique VR concepts, there are a few tried and true recipes that just don't need changing. Sometimes you just want to get in your headset and shoot a bunch of zombies in the face. If you're like me and you just can't get enough of this sort of thing, I've got some good news for you. The Living Remain by Five Finger Studios is an upcoming classic survival adventure filled with guns, gore, and plenty of walking corpses. You're playing as Grant Montgomery, a former military soldier who has been separated from his family. Now he's searching for them in a post apocalyptic world where pockets of remaining humans are surviving within protected compounds while the undead roam freely. The Living Remain is a single player adventure which features plenty of weapons from one handed pistols to two handed assault rifles and shotguns. You can even go for a more personal approach with some tactical knife placement. All are designed to function and look as realistic as possible. When immersed in this post apocalyptic nightmare, you'll find that environments are fully interactive, so you can smash your way through glass barehanded, or climb objects and buildings for an advantage when the horde comes stumbling in. There will also be puzzles to solve and crafting mechanics so that you can scavenge items to craft ammo and upgrade your arsenal. Five Finger Studios has yet to confirm when The Living Remain will be released, only that it'll support Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Valve Index headsets. As always, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date on all the future information regarding The Living Remain. People occasionally say that PCVR is dead, and we've always maintained that if no innovation at all comes to the space, that PCVR will always be the home for modders and indie game studios. And this a perfect example of the latter. Eric, I love it. I love that in the PCVR realm, you can just all of a sudden have something like this fall into your lap. I think this game looks awesome.
This looks amazing, and I until I read your show notes, I had no idea about this game. I knew nothing or heard anything about it, and I mean, look at the detail on some of these weapons you're seeing in the trailer. I mean, it looks amazing, and I'm looking forward to this game. I can't wait, man.
Roots, a PCVR game which not only is it the tried and true zombie shooter, but the focus here is on gritty realism. I mean, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it sounds like it's actually going to have a story, which is the one thing that I would absolutely have to have in something like this. I'm not interested in the wave shooter zombie wave shooter anymore, but they actually have a backstory to this guy, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the story turns out. I do think this would be great if I could look over and see Wes and Eric with me, but it's very clear that this is a single story. And when it says it in the description, they ain't changing it probably. But yeah, no, I think this has potential to be really good. And everybody forgets, because we're in VR space and we all want AAA, and we don't have many examples of AAA in VR. But some of my favorite flat games right now are indie developers. Indie doesn't mean crappy; it just means innovative and different. A lot of times, right? Small studios. Uh, I mean, there's nothing more indie than one person, like in Seeker VR. Some of the best stuff comes from indie. So hopefully this will be as good as it looks, and I am also looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is the initial reveal for this game. I would imagine that there's some time before we actually see this. Eric initially touted to support Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Valve Index headsets, but if this is a game that comes in 2023, I mean, that could be right out the window, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the possibilities are endless with what's coming. I mean, it's not going to be immediately. So we've got how many things we've already talked about tonight. So yeah, I mean, this could be amazing.
So certainly one to keep an eye on here. Again, this is Five Finger Studios, The Living Remain. One of the perks, guys, about being content creator is maybe we can reach out to these guys, maybe get an early copy of it. Obviously, they've got a lot of work done, even if this is the initial reveal. I mean, this thing's looking pretty amazing as it stands. So I wouldn't mind checking out a demo of, a beta version or what have you.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Anyway, you guys know what to do if you want to keep up with all the latest on this one. Be sure to hit the button and the bell, as I assure you, we will be revisiting this at some point.
Yep.
All right, that's going to wrap up this week's featured topics and bring us into the week's reminders. And we're going to start the way we always do with what's out this week. And quite a list, as we alluded to earlier. Puzzle Bobble, 3D Vacation Odyssey, coming from Servios, October 5th to PSVR, as well as PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Interesting to note that this is also a flat game on PlayStation. So
Have either of you ever played Puzzle Bobble?
no, and I really don't have any interest in playing it at all.
No.
I used to play games like this, like Kirby's Avalanche and all that stuff. I used to really love those type of games, but this looks very unique. But it's not my type of jam either. But I guarantee there's people out there that are like, man, this is Puzzle Bobble, dude. You're missing it.
I'm
Like
sure it's
Anthony with
fun.
squishies.
I'm sure it's fun, and if I had all day to play games, I'm sure I would play it. But my time is limited. I have to reserve my time for the games that I really, really want to play, and this just isn't one of them.
What Wes
Yeah.
just said is this is October. This doesn't look
This
like
is
a horror
October.
game to me, bro. Like,
Are the bubbles full of blood?
yeah, what are you
man.
doing?
Now I'd play it. Now I'd play it.
Yeah.
Right. I tell you what, I am playing though. Song in the Smoke from 17-Bit Studios, out just 2 days after Puzzle Bobble. So if you can wait 2 more days, you'll have your hands on this one. October 7th, coming to PSVR, Oculus Quest, and Oculus Rift. Uh, Roots, I can't wait to talk about this one. Have you got into this one yet?
No, and I'm watching the trailer and I'm wondering why. Like what the, well, I do know why. And look over at my PlayStation VR that's kind of stole the thunder for a few
Right,
minutes.
right.
Everything, yeah, I'm very I get distracted easy. But I'm definitely going to be going into this game very shortly.
Can't say much about it, can we, Eric? But I think we can get away with saying that quite interesting what's going on here.
Yeah, no, this is some of the torture that we have to go through with these things, right? I mean, it's awesome that we get to try these things early and everything, but it's like you just want to be able to tell everybody about what you're doing and what you're playing because things are amazing, cool, and you just you can't do anything yet. So, yeah, stay tuned. That's all I can say.
One game though that we are going to be able to touch on a little bit early, thanks to our friend Dave, specifically Eric's friend Dave, Dave Marsh, the developer behind Shadowgate VR, The Minds of Mythrock, has granted us permission to cover this game on a virtual show this Wednesday night. So the day before it launches, we're going to be able to tell you all about Shadowgate VR. This comes to us from Zojoy as well as Azure Drop Studios. Same day as Song and Smoke, October 7th. This game is an Oculus Quest exclusive. So we don't have to wait so long to talk about this one. You're right.
Yeah, what am I do? What is happening, Wes? I'm watching this trailer too, and I'm thinking, why have I not been in this? I know we've had it for a couple days at least.
These horrible, shitty standalone games that aren't worth your time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
This
All right.
game,
Anyway,
this game's amazing, guys. This game's amazing, and Dave is like, he's just like a genius with this stuff, man. This guy is, he's an older guy. He made this game in 1985 and had no knowledge of VR, and he just knew that he wanted to see his creation in VR, and he made it happen. You know what I mean? He just had a passion for doing this, and he had a Vive, and it wowed him, and he was like, then he died out of it a little bit, and then he saw the Quest, and he's like, I got to make a game for this Quest, and he has made a masterpiece for this thing. Can't wait to share
Think
it with everybody.
about this. This is going out. This is going on all over the world. Developers are, for the first time, playing VR and imagining their game in VR. It's sparking innovation. It's sparking games that, you know what I mean. I just feel like we're about to see Zelda VR. Like, you know what I mean. Like, we're about to hit the big time here soon. And I feel like it's Christmas Eve, and I don't want to go to sleep. I want Santa to come now, and it's exciting.
yeah. We've said it before. These game developers are artists, and even the ones that can't financially support VR game development at this time, they all want to experience their creations from the inside, and that, as much as anything, bodes well for the future of our tech.
Hell yeah. Onikazi wants to know, and I guess you would probably know more, Eric, but maybe you do as well. Do we know a price yet on Shadowgate?
We do, and I'll tell you guys first. It's $24.99.
Oh, cool. Well, I can't tell you if that's worth it or not because I haven't been into it. But from what you guys are saying, and just from the original Shadowgate, I can't imagine it not be. But I can't wait to try it and talk about it on Wednesday.
Yeah, tune in on Wednesday for the lowdown, a full day before you'll be able to pick it up on the Quest store.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife from our friends at Fast Travel Games, finally on these very same day, October 7th, making its way onto PlayStation VR. So PSVR players not going to be left in the dark on that day. They're getting what amounts to an amazing story-driven horror game in just a few more days.
You know what's good about that, Wes? Not being left in the dark is there's a seance going on here, and I guarantee you don't want to be in the dark. You want some light because there's some spooky stuff going on in this game. And remember, if you do have, I guess we don't have to tell the PlayStation VR community this because there are no refunds. It's a slow burn. The first couple hours, it's not a slow, boring burn. The story is amazing. It's just the action starts picking up about 3 hours in, Wes, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck is happening, man? And then from that point on, the action continues, doesn't stop. So it's definitely an amazing game. And I think you PlayStation VR game cats are in for a treat.
Agreed, wholeheartedly.
Yep. 100%.
Fifth and final game out this week, notable game out this week, Loco Dojo Unleash from Make Real, also on October 7th. Oculus Quest only for this one. I saw some side by side shots of this one today with the PCVR version. It's pretty close to identical on Quest as it was on PC.
Well, the gameplay was what was amazing about this. It's so ridiculous, and just the game. They're the mini games that you always wanted to play in VR, right? The Wii U type of games that are just ridiculous. And I had fun when Wes and I played, and every game we came to, at first had no idea what the fuck is happening, but within a minute, we're experts at it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. This game has some real value for people like me who has multiple headsets in the house and children. This is kind of a no-brainer, something quick that you can both pick up, put the headset on, and pick up quickly, and have a fun time engaging in competitive party games.
It's a Mario Party of VR, and it's the only one that I know of, and they did a really good job. And we said it when we first came out. This needs to come to Quest. They did it,
Look at that.
and
Yep.
I can't wait to play it. As do we know? I guess it's what, 4 people, I would assume.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so we should get in there, all 3 of us, and stream
This
it.
was one of
That'd be cool.
This was one of my favorite videos that you guys did. You guys were laughing your asses off in here. And it was funny. It was funny watching Roots trying to figure stuff out. Trying to figure stuff out, and it was a good video. Everybody should go back and watch it because it was funny.
Yeah.
So maybe we try to contact Make Real and see if maybe they would want us to cover this one then, if you guys both want to play it.
For sure.
Or,
Yeah, I've actually never played it, so I would for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can just play it on PC. But who wants to do that, right? I want a freshie.
I want to see what the differences are. Maybe it's even better, right? A little bit more love.
Yeah, right.
Very possible. We have seen it from other titles. So.
Yep.
All right. That wraps up Out This Week. Brings us into our next reminder. This is the part of the show where we ask you, the audience, to indulge us a little bit here and do your part to support these developers by taking a moment in real time with us right now as we all go together and wish list a title. This helps developers by not only raising the profile of their game on the platforms that you like to shop on, but it also allows them to gauge interest. It's a very important thing for them to have people wishlist their game, and that's why they always constantly ask people to wishlist their game. So you're at your computer already. It just takes a minute. We talked about some amazing games today. Let's just go pick one and wishlist.
Yeah, a couple clicks, man. Not only that, but you don't want to miss this. When this said game goes on sale, you want to know it's on sale and not find out the day after, like I've done very many times.
Yeah, right.
So I am highlighting and wishlisting The Living Remain because I think it looks amazing.
Puzzle Bobble for me.
Well, the release date says it's coming soon, so there you heard it here first, guys, exclusively.
Oh wow,
it's coming soon, so we're gonna have it soon, right? Eric, that's what that means, right? We're actually gonna get it soon.
Next week we can cover it on Wednesday show.
Yeah, awesome. I think we already have access. I think. Well, I was gonna say Lone Echo 2 said coming soon, but I don't know if they did at some point, but they may have. And usually that means nothing.
Optimized to run fluidly on GTX 970, it says.
Oh, wow. Well, that's slumming it these days. I had a 970 two cards ago. It was actually a really good card back in the day.
I'm going to super sample this thing to 250%.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go 110.
It's got good looking lighting in it. And again, interactive, highly realistic.
Derail has a very good point. He says, wish list New World. And get in there with me and Mash. And
that, man. I value my graphics card too much to do that.
Well, you have a 3000 series. I've been monitoring mine, and mine it doesn't usually get above 50 some degrees. So for what's happening, it has to overheat and seize, which happens when it happens. It happens, I guess, quick. But I don't know, man.
I'm playing with a fire extinguisher next to my PC.
Well, the problem is it doesn't start smoking until you start your computer back up. And then it's like, ooh, so you're like 50-50. Is it going to start? Yeah, that's sketchy.
So you guys enjoy it while you can before your computer fries. And
right.
Well, like I said,
my brand new Oculus headset while you guys are trying to get a new graphics card.
It does seem like it's a 3000 series issue. So I should be fine, but
should be.
It definitely is something to watch. I don't want to disappoint Jeff Bezos, man. I got to support him. Us bald men.
Enjoy your 1660 Ti.
Hey, we can have Radio be our guinea pig. We'll just have him run it for like an hour.
That's true.
Hours.
Yeah, just run it a few hours.
3080.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Gary, that's the case. Is I got a refund on New World. I just don't have the time. Who's got time for flat games, right?
I get it. For me, it's my, I love hanging out. I love MMORPGs, and I'm hoping to get Spry in there. Something different. It's Mash's first experience in a world like that. He's really enjoying it. So for me, it's the people that I'm hanging out with. If it was just being by myself, I probably wouldn't be playing it either.
You know,
But
I say who has time for flat games, and with that said, I think our friends at Bloober Team, per my request, are going to send us a copy of the Medium that just launched. So
What? That's cool
I
too.
will be playing that
nice,
for Spooktober month here, hopefully,
awesome.
in
That's awesome.
a couple days. Yeah.
Well, and Derail's got a good point. It's specific types of cards. EVGA was in the beta. That's one thing that makes me feel good. Doesn't matter what happens. I've got a good card with a company that backs it up. If you got a gigabyte card, don't be you're rolling the dice. So
Yeah, the latest round of seems to be focused on gigabyte cards.
yeah,
So,
crazy.
Yeah.
anyway, that's going to bring us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support our channel, our community, our show. Of course, if you haven't already, be sure that you are subscribed and that you ring the bell to stay up with our frequent content, our evolving content, exciting times on our channel. You're going to want to be along for the ride. Make sure that you are subscribed if you haven't already. And if you have already and you want to do a little something more, all that takes is $3 per month. That's like what, 75 cents a week, something crazy like that. And you will join the ranks of our patrons where you will gain access to our weekly show notes, which are absolutely epic this week. I put a bunch of extra trailers and videos in the bottom section so you guys can thoroughly vet any of the stuff that you are interested in addition to the show notes, you get insider updates, you get exclusive content, all of this for $3 per month, and you also get the good warm fuzzy feeling knowing that you did your part to help our channel grow.
Hmm.
Who knows, maybe we will be side quest ambassadors in 6 months thanks to your support and allowing us to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, if ever any of you guys want like a little insight into what goes into making this show and what Wes and Roots do to make this show, go look at these show notes. Are just not notes that you think of. These are amazing things that you can interact with, and you can see how we prepare for the show today. Because basically I prepared for the show by looking at Wes's notes. I went right to the Patreon. I clicked it open, and I looked at everything I needed to look at. And that's when I saw Living Remains. I'm like, holy shit, Living Remains looks awesome. I found that through Wes's notes. So go there, get the Patreon, and check his notes. It's not just what you think. It's just not notes. This is basically the show right here, and you can get a little glimpse on what these guys put into the show.
Plus
How hard they work.
access to special events like the 2021 show extravaganza when we vote on everything and that big long, what was it, 8 hours last time? It was crazy how long it took us to go through it all, but it took a long time. But that type of stuff is available for you guys as well. So
Yeah, we do have occasional Patreon exclusive events. They're not frequent, but they are generally something pretty important when they happen. So yeah, though that'll be happening again this year for the 2021 show, and I can say definitively that I've got an insider update coming for you guys very soon because you've heard me allude to it time and time again. Big things are coming to the channel this month. Before it rolls out,
soon.
you guys are going to see it first on the Patreon. So some of it you've already seen. There's other things that you haven't. I can't wait to share it. And again, that's a lot of stuff for just $3 a month.
Absolutely.
Skiva says it's the best $3 he's ever spent. So there you go.
Appreciate that, Skiva. And then also that being said, as much as we've just talked about money and everything else, just being here, clicking the subscribe, like, sharing the content. Not everybody has money. It's never about the money. So we have to plug it. But we appreciate every one of you. So
Absolutely. I don't show up here and do this every week for money. I show it up because you guys are engaged. You guys show up for me, so I show up for you. And that's
right.
how it's always going to be.
That's right.
All right. With that said, friends, I would like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots and Eric, I'm Wes. We may see you tomorrow. If not, definitely go. Wait.
What?
Tune into my stream on Tuesday. I'm finally going to play Here They Lie, and I'm going to break that game down in ways that you have never seen before. I'm going to explain, I'm going to point out all the stuff that you missed when you played. I'm going to give you my theory on what's going on and what it all means with regards to the story and the theme. I'm going to discuss possible influences for the creators, and I'm going to play through that game. I'm going to do my best to play through the whole thing in one sitting. You're not going to want to miss it. I've been looking forward to doing this for 3 months or more. Um, Late night streams with Weasel around midnight Eastern time every Tuesday. I'm going to stream more frequently through the week as well, but this Tuesday specifically, we're doing Here They Lie. So
And when
come
he
and let
says,
me show you.
"Oh, go ahead."
I was going to say, come and let me show you my second favorite horror game, and let me explain why it is.
Well, I was gonna say when he says you don't want to miss it, this is one you probably really don't want to miss because that game has so much stuff going on that I have no idea what's happening. And Wes really he's played it and has really dug in deep to what's going on in that story. And so I guarantee you're gonna walk away from that stream very well versed exactly what the creators meant for you to get out of that game, which is exactly what you want, right? So. How
Oh
cool.
yeah, this is one I've been waiting for Wes to do for a long time because I've never played this game, and I'm gonna watch him play it because I want to hear his perspective on it. And you guys need to come hang out with me and chat and keep me company because this one's gonna be scary.
Yeah.
Hit the button and the bell if you haven't already. We'll be doing that Tuesday. If I have time, I'll get on tomorrow and stream something too. If not, maybe one of these guys will. It's Spooktober month, all month long, and we're gonna be hitting it hard. You know who loves it when you hit it hard?
My
Oh
mom.
yeah, she does.
With that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For my friends Mark and Roots, I'm Wes. Mark, I called you Mark. Didn't
That's all right. I'll tell you what. He looks like
So
a
you can
Mark.
call me Matt. You can say just say Mash. Mash
Yeah.
and Mark is close.
It is.
Mash
It's
Mark.
mixed. Merrick. How about that?
Well, I've got Mepper on my brain because I was just reading through the chat comments while you guys were talking. So
And you're
my
tired.
bad, Eric.
I can
Yeah,
And
tell
I
you.
am
no.
tired.
Yeah, no worries.
So.
Anyway, for my friends here, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye now.
Take it easy.
We'll see you later.